अखंड भारत, not इतना भारत, अखंड भारत स्वर्णिम भारत था, एंड अखंड भारत ही फिर से स्वर्णिम भारत बनेगा, एंड वी आर ऑलरेडी हेडिंग टुवर्ड्स इट. द आर्ट ऑफ डाइंग and the art of letting others live with dignity is very important, and that is what spirituality teaches us.
You adopted celibacy.
Yeah, right from day one, and now it's been 27 years. We have started believing there are many gods. No, but there are not many gods. God is one. There are many Devi Devtas. देवी देवता बहुत सारे हैं. श्री राम जी, श्री कृष्ण जी, श्री विष्णु जी, गणेश जी, ये सब देवी देवता हैं. दे आर डेटीज, राइट? तो देवी देवता बहुत सारे होते हैं. परमात्मा ही नहीं होता ना, परमात्मा होता है.
You feel that the vibrations in what she was doing?
In the vibrations in the food will change people's minds. जैसा अन्न वैसा मन is not a statement, it's a power. The person cooking for you can change your destiny. And that's why I keep telling parents, cook for your children. Or at least take care of who's cooking for your children.
You keep saying religion of the soul. Why do you do that? Most people when they say soul यहाँ.
मन यहाँ है ना. आप जब सोचते हो आपको दर्द यहाँ होता है जब स्ट्रेस होता है? नहीं, यहाँ होता है. टेंशन भी यहाँ होती है, चिंता भी यहाँ होती है. That's the energy who's creating all the emotions.
Namaste, Jai Hind. You're watching or listening to another edition of the ANI podcast with Smita Prakash. My guest today is Shivani Verma, popularly known as BK Shivani of the Brahma Kumaris. It is more of a spiritual organization rather than a religious one, originating in Sindh in undivided India. It was founded in the 1930s by Lekh Raj Kriplani, who's known as Brahm Baba. Members of the Brahma Kumaris lead a disciplined lifestyle that includes celibacy, vegetarianism, and daily meditation. Sister Shivani, through her television and media presence and her workshops around the world, is particularly famous, especially because of her ability to explain complex spiritual concepts in a simple, relatable manner, making them accessible to a broader audience. Shivani ji, thank you so much for being part of the podcast. Almost every podcast that I have done so far in the past almost 2 years, people have been saying that, why don't you get Shivani ji on your podcast? And मेरे को हमेशा झिझक लगती थी कि मैं पूछ पाऊंगी, would I do justice in asking the question? So today, with a lot of worry and a lot of anxiety, I'm coming into the show to ask you some questions which I have seen you answer in many of your own shows, some of the podcasts that you have appeared on, some of the interviews, in your interactions with people जो YouTube में available हैं, and Spotify and the others wherever it's available. तो मैं कुछ तो मैं सुन चुकी हूँ, but for viewers and listeners who may not know much about it, it might seem repetitive, some of my questions, so please excuse me for asking those questions.
Not at all.
So let me begin by asking about the organization of the Brahma Kumari. I don't know what to call it. What would you call it? Is it a sect? Is it a cult? What is it? Because there's a lot of information, but at the same time not verified. I mean, I've been into the website, but there's so many people who have their own interpretation of what the Brahma Kumari organization is, and you're present in over 100 countries and almost in every continent. तो कुछ बताएंगे आपके organization के बारे में?
It's an NGO, but a socio-spiritual organization, and it was started in 1936. That time in Hyderabad, Sindh, which is now part of Pakistan. And from 36 to 50, it was there. And 1950, it shifted to Mount Abu, which is the headquarters even till today. It was started by...
Mount Abu in Rajasthan, just in case...
Mount Abu in Rajasthan, sorry.
No, that's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
So, Dada Lekh Raj, who was a diamond jeweler, family person, 6 children, very dharmic. He had 12 gurus in his lifetime. He had certain visions once. He was sitting on the Banaras Tat and he had visions, sakshatkar jisko hum kehte hain na, vision aaya. So he had visions of how this world is going through a change. And at that time, we're talking of 1936, even before the Japan, even before the Japan World War.
Okay.
So this time he had a first vision was of war in which there was a lot of loss, lot of damage. Second vision he had was of civil war, which is mean a religion-based war.
अच्छा.
And third vision he had was of natural calamities. So उनको बस ऐसे एक दिन तट पर बैठे हुए ना ये सब ऐसे दिखाई दिया, and he felt as if everything is, you know, coming to an end. He thought like, what's the purpose of life? ये तो सब खत्म हो रहा है जैसे. And he was very, very well to do, but then he just wrapped up everything that day. It was like a vairag. You know, as if ये तो सब खत्म हो रहा है, then why are we working? I need to just work on myself and, you know, introspect. So he just finished off his partnership with and he said बस मुझे कुछ नहीं चाहिए अब, जो बनता है तुम दे दो, बस मुझे नहीं करना अब कुछ भी. And then he went into introspection. He was just sitting alone, introspecting, soul, Atma who, he was writing, reading. After some time he had a second vision, and that vision was of a very beautiful world. So he saw जैसे कि ना आत्मा energy is coming onto the planet and then taking the form of a deity. And so he realized, oh, the world is not coming to an end. The world is going through a big transformation. And then he realized that this is not, because he couldn't understand कि ये कौन उनको दिखा रहा है, ये कैसे हो रहा है. Again he went into a lot of introspection, and then suddenly he was being used as an instrument to give this gyan. He could feel it, that it's not him. उनको तो नहीं आता था. So we call him our first student. We don't call him a teacher. We don't call him definitely not a guru. It was like the first student. So he was studying, and then the others who were there, they started coming, and everybody started studying. So they started from 1936 was the Sakshatkar. People started coming, let's say, from 1937. Sisters, I mean girls and mothers started coming more. Community was more Sindhi at that time, Sindh, Pakistan, and most of the men were abroad, you know, Hong Kong and that area for business. So it was more the women folk who were coming there initially. Of course, there were men also. Then we were taught
Coming where? I mean,
coming to the satsang, which he
Satsang,
started in
acha.
his house. Matlab he was just sharing. It was not even, you can't even call it a satsang. It was not a structured thing. वो जो उनको मिल रहा था, he was just sharing. So people started coming and listening. But what was happening was when they were coming ना, उनको भी vision हो जाता था. They would also just see either a point of light, or they would get a vision of the golden age, the Satyug, without knowing anything about it and without understanding that what is happening. But they would just get a vision, and they could feel that energy which was giving them a lot of peace and power. But it was not him. It was not him. So then Paramatma used him as an instrument to give the gyan. They were all studying. One of the principles which they were taught right from the beginning was that to overcome the vices, you know, Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Ahankar, 5 vices. So lust, anger, greed, attachment, ego. So the first vice is lust, which is body consciousness. And to create a new world, you have to create soul consciousness, not ego consciousness, not role, body consciousness. So they were taught to overcome lust. Now this created a big chaos in society, you can understand. Young girls going home and saying, I don't want to get married, or women saying, I don't want to indulge in this sexual activity. So it created a big chaos initially. So there was a lot of opposition, there were court cases, there was attempt to even finish him. But they continued with their determination and their faith in what they were experiencing.
He stayed in Sindh during this period?
Yes.
Okay.
And then he also went to Karachi. And there 14 years they did tapasya for the self. That was a group of about 300 people.
Now you're talking about him being in Pakistan, because by then Pakistan has happened.
Yeah, up to 1950 they were there. So but 14 years they were like there, but they were doing tapasya for themselves, practice of soul consciousness. See, मैं आत्मा हूँ, everybody knows it, but it's just a point of knowledge for us. In our daily life, we don't live our life with that consciousness. If we lived our life in that soul consciousness stage, these vices would start finishing off, disappear. But ego conscious, role conscious, body conscious is what takes us towards lust, anger, greed, jealousy, worry, comparison. Matlab that entire list which is on the other side. So 14 years of tapasya. In the meantime, India got independence. The partition happened. They were all there, just safe. Nothing and no one touched them. And you come out 1950 and they just shifted to Mount Abu then. That was also a trance message कि Mount Abu जाना है.
कौन आया था उस वक्त? सारे के सारे आ गए?
All. The entire group of 350.
Okay.
The entire group of 350. They shift. They came by ship. They all came, सब सामान भी
मुंबई में
people.
आके फिर वहाँ से?
नहीं, not Mumbai.
कराची?
ओखा.
ओखा, गुजरात.
गुजरात, वो जामनगर के पास जो है, ओखा पोर्ट. वहाँ से फिर आए माउंट आबू. And since then Mount Abu is the headquarters
Okay.
of the organization.
Huh.
And then dhire dhire that group of 350, after another 3-4 years more of tapasya there, then they went out into groups in the city, which means 2 sisters would go to Delhi, 2 would go to Mumbai, 2 would go to Kanpur. Some families had also shifted here, no? Their families, they invited them. And then that satsang started in those cities, towns. And now it's there in 137 countries.
You spoke about more women coming क्योंकि the men were going व्यवसाय के लिए बाहर
Yeah.
जाते हैं तो
Yes.
more women come to which is visible even to date.
No.
That there are more women, not just your organization. I'm saying in general organization, I would think more women have the time and.
Here it's not
no?
like that. But
Okay.
here, but the one thing that is there is women are the administrative heads right from the beginning. Even that time, Brahma Baba, whom we call Brahma Baba, he gave his entire wealth, made a trust of 8 sisters and surrendered everything.
Why sisters? That's what I wanted to know.
That is what the trans message was: keep women in the front. Women in the front in 1937, where women were, just closed indoors. They didn't even have a choice of
There
what
was
they were
no
to do.
religion that I can think of,
Yeah.
or no cult or no sect of any religion which had women as administrators and propagators.
Yeah.
To some extent, I think the Buddhists sent out women to East Asia and all for propagating the religion, but I can't think of any other sect which had
Yeah.
women.
This was from 1937. Sisters were in the front. And that's why the name is Brahma Kumaris. But actually, men and women, which means we call them brothers and sisters, equal number at every center. Even in Seva, equal number at every center. Daily students coming to class to study, equal number at every center. But running the center, running every center, and the administrative head of the organization, they are not spiritual heads. They are called administrative heads. Spiritual knowledge, head is only what knowledge we're getting from Paramatma. All administrative heads, all sisters.
You are easily visible, Shivani ji, because the sisters wear white. You're visible. The men don't.
They also wear white.
But the way, I mean, I guess seeing a man in white is a common thing. But when you see
yes,
you,
yes.
in all white,
White sarees,
everybody
yeah.
knows, हाँ ये ब्रह्म कुमारी
Yeah,
हैं.
right.
Respect आता है, but also curiosity.
जी.
कि क्या करते हैं. Now you spoke about Brahm Baba. Was his name Brahm, or is there something with the god Brahma?
No, name was Dada Lekhraj. His original name was Dada Lekhraj. And then when Paramatma gave this gyan, Brahma means creation. So we are in the process of creating new sanskars for a new world. See, January 22nd, when the Ram Mandir was inaugurated, what did the Prime Minister of the country say? कि हमें भारत में राम राज्य लाना है. Right? तो राम राज्य कैसे आएगा भारत में? How is it going to come? What do we mean by saying Ram Rajya लाना है? Ram Rajya means स्वर्णिम भारत. स्वर्णिम भारत जो था, वो स्वर्णिम भारत फिर से आना है. So how is स्वर्णिम भारत going to come? स्वर्णिम भारत will come only with those sanskars, na? स्वर्णिम भारत doesn't get created by outer progress. There is a spiritual law. संस्कार से संसार बनता है. Forget the world. Go to your house. Just look at your home. Would you call your home heaven or hell based on how beautiful it is?
No.
How big it is? No. It will depend on what's the quality of the energy in the house. What is the state of the minds of the people in the house? What is the quality of the relationship in the house? तो आज भी अगर किसी के घर में ना रिश्ते बहुत अच्छे हैं और सब कुछ अच्छा है, हम कहते हैं इनके घर में ना स्वर्ग लगा हुआ है. And in some houses if there's a lot of chaos and conflict, कहते हैं इनके घर में ना नर्क लगा हुआ है. तो स्वर्ग और नर्क, which means स्वर्णिम भारत या कलयुगी अभी जो चल रही है दुनिया, it is based on sanskars. So if we want to change the sansar, it has to start from the sanskar. So that is the knowledge that we are studying here. Changing our sanskars from काम, क्रोध, लोभ, मोह, अहंकार, ईर्ष्या, द्वेष, नफरत, which means all our so-called normal emotions of today, shifting to purity, peace, compassion, empathy, forgiveness, unity.
So did
that's that
Lekhraj
shift.
ji think that these sanskars are what prevented the world wars from annihilating
See,
humanity?
it is not his knowledge. He knew nothing.
Okay.
He knew nothing. That's what I said. He's the first student. He knew nothing. He himself was like, who's teaching all this? So he was a student just like those other 300 there with him.
So you don't read his pravachan or
Not
anything?
his.
Okay.
He was just the instrument. I said he was studying.
Huh.
It was just like, suppose I am sharing now, or I was sharing on the Awakening program. So people will think I am saying it, but it's not my knowledge. I knew nothing.
Okay.
I knew nothing. So I will never take credit for even one word of it. So I've learned from there. He also learned.
From where?
So I have learned from the Murlis, Vodo Pravachan, which we get written. But when it was being read out the first time, he was only being used as an instrument, and that information was just coming out through
Murli,
him.
as in
Yeah.
flute.
Yeah, we call it Murli, but the Gyan ki Murli hai.
Acha.
So we call those spiritual versions. Even today we study only those.
Is it in written form?
It's in written form.
It's in written form. So now explain to me who is the God, who is
Nirakar, yeah. Nirakar
I've heard
Paramatma.
that Shiv Baba bhi.
So Nirakar Paramatma. God is one. See, who is the God जब हम कहते हैं ना? Because we have started believing there are many gods.
हाँ.
No, but there are not many gods. God is one. There are many Devi Devtas. देवी देवता बहुत सारे हैं. श्री राम जी, श्री कृष्ण जी, श्री विष्णु जी, गणेश जी, ये सब देवी देवता हैं. दे आर डेटीज, राइट? तो देवी देवता बहुत सारे होते हैं. परमात्मा, परमात्मा ही नहीं होता ना, परमात्मा होता है. एंड परमात्मा एक होता है. एंड देन इट डजंट मैटर whether I am a Hindu or a Muslim or a Christian or a Buddhist or anything. Every religion will say God is one. God is energy. God is light. Nirakar. No sakar form. Devi Devtas, sakar form, which means a physical body form. Paramatma. मैं आत्मा हूँ, energy. Paramatma also energy. So Paramatma was giving the gyan through him, and he was also studying, and then we are also all studying.
So when you have people coming to you, it doesn't matter कि वो हिंदू, मुस्लिम, सिख, ईसाई कोई भी हो, ब्रह्म कुमारी बन सकते?
Everyone is here in the organization, all religions. Even when we are now in 137 countries, different religions, different nationalities,
Okay.
different cultures. It's spiritual knowledge. Nobody is leaving their religion.
Huh.
So those who are Hindus, those who are Muslims, those who are Christians.
And they can worship, they can do their religious practices
Yes.
along with the spiritual?
This is only meditation.
Okay.
Meditation and spiritual study. Spiritual study of how to become what my potential is.
Shivani ji, don't they come into conflict if there is a girl who's a Muslim, who's been taught to worship in a particular manner, who's been told that God is this person, and then you say कि निराकार हैं, and you say meditation या energy आपको बैठ के मिलेगी, उसको सिखाया जाता है कि ऐसे हाथ उठाने हैं, ऐसे pray करना है, you will prostrate only before a particular God and there's only one God. फिर conflict नहीं आते?
You know, the beautiful part is, I have not studied other religions, but every time people of other religions come here and they start studying the spiritual principles, they say, अरे हमारे religion पे तो यही लिखा हुआ है exactly सब कुछ. Because actually, what are the core principles of religion? What are the core principles of every religion? And if you see, every prophet, what did they come to teach us? So अगर आप सृष्टि चक्र को देखेंगे ना, it become very beautiful. देखो हम स्वास्तिक बनाते हैं, आपने स्वास्तिक देखा ना, हम स्वास्तिक बनाते हैं, 4 भाग होते हैं. There are 4 equal parts. They actually symbolize this world cycle, the cycle of time. Like we have morning, afternoon, evening, night. It's cyclic. Spring, summer, autumn, winter, cyclic. There's a bigger cycle. And that cycle is Satyug, Treta Yug, Dwapar Yug, Kalyug. 4 parts. So Satyug, Treta Yug means the perfect world, what we call Swarnim Bharat, what we're saying Ram Rajya. फिर धीरे धीरे, and वो राज्य में कौन था? सत्युग त्रेता युग में divine souls. What is actually the Adi Sanatan Devi Devta Dharam? So Satyug Treta Yuga are Devi Devtas. The civilization is Devi Devtas. Devi Devtas not worshipped as God. They were like here, living on the planet. From Dwapar Yuga, so which means when the evening starts, soul power starts depleting. Then when I start losing my purity, I look up to my ancestors. I look up to my ancestors who were pure and perfect. And I start putting photos, statues, like we would put today even of our grandparents. आज भी हर परिवार कहता है हमारी एक कुल देवी है, कुल देवता है, कहते हैं. What is the meaning of that? कुल देवी, कुल देवता means they are our ancestors. So we belong to their family. So Adi Sanatan Devi Devta Dharam is actually a civilization. It is not a religion. It is not a religion. It is a civilization. Then when copper age starts, that is from Dwapar Yuga, and society starts disintegrating because these vices start creeping in, that is when prophets come onto this planet, and each one comes and says, we are one family. Peace is our religion. Love is our religion. Unity is our religion. God is one. God is light. If we had to just take up their teaching, we would all be united today. But as it is our human nature, no? More than the teaching, we connected to the teacher.
Correct.
And because teachers were different, so we said, you and me are different. So if you were listening and studying to what Jesus Christ said, then I would say you and I are different. But if we just took the teachings of what everybody said, we would have said, you are a soul, I am a soul, we are one family, Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam.
It's the harder thing to do.
It's actually the simpler thing to do. It is simpler. So religion actually was not creating a religion. They were actually teaching us the religion of the soul. What is dharam?
You keep saying religion of the soul. Why do you do that? Most people, when they say soul yahan.
Soul yahan nahi. Where do you think? Where do you feel? Here.
दिमाग से.
Energy. दिमाग से नहीं, मन से.
तो मन यहाँ.
हाँ, मन यहाँ है ना. आप जब सोचते हो आपको दर्द यहाँ होता है जब स्ट्रेस होता है? नहीं, यहाँ होता है. टेंशन भी यहाँ होती है, चिंता भी यहाँ होती है. That's the energy who's creating all the emotions. The energy who's creating all the emotions. Those emotions are then radiated to the brain. That brain is dimag. Man is not dimag. Mind is the energy. It reaches the brain. Then the brain brings it into action through this body. So it's here. जहाँ आप बिंदी लगाइए ना वहाँ. इसीलिए बिंदी लगाई जाती है.
एनर्जी.
इसीलिए तिलक लगाया जाता है. तिलक इज एक्चुअली व्हेन वी गो टू द मंदिर, हम पहले ऐसे तिलक लगाते हैं टू रिमेंबर मैं आत्मा हूँ. एंड देन ही अंदर और बाहर क्या करते हैं, वी रिमूव आवर शूज, आवर लेदर प्रोडक्ट्स, विच मीन्स ये बॉडी जो चमड़ी है इसकी कॉन्शियसनेस को बाहर रखो पहले. मैं आत्मा हूँ एंड फिर ही परमात्मा से कनेक्ट कर सकेंगे. नाउ दिस इज स्पिरिचुअलिटी. बट व्हेन आई डिड नॉट नो ऑल दिस, then for me it would only mean keep your chappals outside.
The rituals.
So ritual is very important, but we should know the meaning behind the ritual. So I should know that I have to keep body consciousness outside, not just my chappal and my purse and my belt outside.
What is associated with it?
With leather, no. It's leather. And then I should know that I'm not just applying a tilak. I have to create my consciousness that I am a soul talking to another soul. And then I will be able to connect to the Supreme Soul. Paramatma.
When did you get to know about this? When was it that you felt कि मुझे कुछ I have to seek something?
No, I was not seeking anything.
Really?
Actually, I was not seeking anything.
Tell me your story.
My mother started coming here. And then you know how it is normally talking about it at home and all. But I thought my life was perfect.
Your mother was a housewife?
Yes, a housewife.
Homemaker.
Yeah. Okay. So this is about 30 years back.
Ji.
So I was doing my engineering that time. And
kahan engineering and kahan spiritualism, right? You're a science student.
Yeah.
And yet
it makes it all the more interesting.
Yes.
Yes, because then whatever I learn, then I look at it very logically, try to analyze it, discern it. I'm not able to just take it as it is. And that's what took me very long also.
कि किसी ने कहा तो
हाँ, वो मेरे से होता नहीं है. So I'm quite...
So how old were you?
When that time? 24, 25, yeah, 23, 24. 20. When she started going, I must be 20, 21. But I didn't agree to come.
Achha.
So she would talk about it at home. I found it like all very strange. I even told my father, stop her from going there. Where is she going? Why are you allowing her to go there? And but I think just her transformation and the vibrations she was radiating in the house just by being there and her meditation. And now I understand. I didn't understand then. It was her vibrations while she was cooking. So very soon, the rest of the three of us in the house were like, okay, humko bhi jana hai. We also want to see what this is all about.
That's your brother, your father,
my father,
and you.
Me, yes.
Okay. You feel that the vibrations in what she was doing?
In the vibrations in the food will change people's minds. Jaisa an, vaisa man is not a statement, it's a power. And now after 27 years, I've seen so much with it, that power. The person cooking for you can change your destiny. That's the power it is. And that's why I keep telling parents, cook for your children. or at least take care of who's cooking for your children, and at least take care that you eat home food more often and not just sit at home and keep ordering food from outside.
I'm going to get into the food and the dietary aspect soon, because I want to understand, because many of your pravachans you talk about prasad, so I'm
Yeah.
going to come to that. But first, let me come back to your story. So you went there, and what was your first?
I
Do you
liked it
remember
there.
it?
Yeah. I liked it there, but it was good. It was nice, but some things I couldn't understand logically. So again, that engineering background, scientific, or just my way of thinking, I needed a logical explanation for everything. So that sister, I remember distinctly, she told me, Paramatma यहाँ पढ़ाते हैं. And I was like, okay, आप proof करो. She said, नहीं, proof नहीं कर सकती मैं. I said, तो फिर how will I agree to this like this? So I had so I spent couple of years just in this whole thing.
It was your first exposure to spiritualism,
Yes.
कि घर में और कोई
ना
बाबा
कुछ भी नहीं. Nothing at all. Nothing
Okay.
at all.
Now this is in Pune that
Yes.
this happened,
Right.
and you're talking how many years ago?
This will be about 30 years back.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how old were you then?
That time 22.
No pressure on you to get married? And
Yeah, that's what happened. Then after that. So when I was, I was going there with her, liking it, but still not understanding everything, and definitely not doing it the way I should be doing it to understand it. So one of the days the sister says, she said, आप करके देखो. I said, आप prove ही नहीं कर रहे मुझे. So I'm not getting that feeling of even wanting to try it like करके. And in this process, by the time I had reached 25, and then my grandparents came. And my grandfather is from Pakistan, so he knew everything about this organization, not in a positive manner at all. So he was very against the whole idea.
कहाँ से आए?
They used to stay in Chandigarh.
Okay.
So they came to Pune and they told my mother, don't spoil the children's life, don't do all this. And so they told me, you have to decide what you want to do. I said, what do I have to do? They said, get married or get surrendered. I said, surrendered where? So they said, at the center. I said, no, why should I get surrendered? Because I had not even started going. So how can I get surrendered? So they meant, you are 25, you have to take a call. What do you want to do? So I just said, okay, get married. I was like, it didn't take me 1 minute also to think, because the other option was not there for me, because I had yet not even experienced that life. So I said, okay, get married. So they said, okay, fine. And they were there and everything was done and everything was fixed. Sab kuch ho gaya tha.
And
fixed.
your husband knew that this was the choice before you?
What?
That या तो आप ब्रह्म कुमारी बन जाओ.
Because my grandparents were like, this is the age. So
Surrendered का मतलब become a nun.
Surrendered matlab those who stay at the center, na?
मतलब because that means celibacy, vegetarianism, all जो rules
Basically
हैं.
taking care of the center and doing seva.
हाँ. But those are the preconditions, right?
Preconditions of those staying in the center? Yeah. Those are conditions which we all follow even if we are staying at home actually.
Okay.
Surrendered is just seva. That they are going to be there, so that when we go to the center, they are teaching us meditation. One-on-one, they teach everybody. They are reading out the Murli every day. They are going all over doing seva. So it's seva. So they have chosen to do that. So
And that
mostly,
seva gives purity according to you? Is that why it's different from the others जो घर में रहते हैं, those who may not do those
see,
do's
at the
and
Brahma
don'ts?
Kumaris,
Huh.
anyone who says I'm part of Brahma Kumaris, they follow all this whether they're staying at the center or at home.
Oh.
That's why it's very beautiful. I love so many things over here. Like everything, now I love everything, but initially also I could see that my mother was living exactly how the center of the sister was living. If she woke up at 4 o'clock, she also woke up at 4 o'clock. So the beautiful thing is there's no difference between the one who's staying at home or the one who's staying in the center. Everybody is a student.
Pardon me for asking this, but doesn't it cause conflict in families? Because
It does.
It does.
Yes, it does. It does initially till they understand it.
Did your in-laws
Yeah.
understand it? Did they were they conflicted? Ki
No. So when I was engaged, there was 1 year of engagement. So during that 1 year, I went to Mount Abu, and it just clicked with me. It just clicked, and I was like, I don't want to get married. That was my first reaction. Now I don't want to get married. And my mother is like, this is no game that's going on now. I want to get and now I don't want to get. I said, no, now I don't want to get married. Because it just came something that I couldn't understand like for 3-4 years when she was taking me. Not that anybody explained anything. It was just nothing. I can't describe it. It just happened. Suddenly I understood everything. Suddenly I said, everything is perfect for me now over here. So then I spoke to my fiancé and he said, it's okay. We will live like this.
And you adopted celibacy.
Yeah, right from day one. And now it's been 27 years.
Your husband is also part of the
Gradually. He was not that time.
He's a Hindu
Yes.
and he's a practicing Hindu.
See,
Or he was just born
we are
into...
all Hindus.
No, what I mean to say is some are born into the Hindu faith, but
Yeah.
they may not be practicing Hindus, right?
See, practicing means what? Means puja,
Huh.
part, ritual. Yes, of course he was.
Okay.
And nobody stops us from doing that even today.
Hmm.
It's just that we understand the meaning behind it more.
Okay.
We understand what we are doing. So I was practicing Hindu at home. I was in a Christian school. I was in a convent. So I was practicing that over there. So we would have Bible reading in the morning in school. We would say the Christian prayer in school. So my 12 years I've been in a Christian school. It was so ingrained into my system. And at home we were doing puja, part. But I realized that we were doing, but internalizing it and understanding the meaning and about inculcating it into my personal life and changing my sanskars is not what I was doing.
But some of it doesn't go. Like I went to a Fauji school, and nationalism, patriotism is it's part of your
Of course.
thing. It doesn't go. It won't go.
Yeah.
At any point of life, if I have to choose a step which would be against,
Of course.
I will not choose it.
Yes, yes,
It's
not
part of
at
my
all.
training. It's part of my demeanor.
Right.
I will never be able to.
Right.
वो जो 10-12 साल जो आप स्कूल में बिताते हो, it
100%.
becomes a part of your nature, right? And I guess a part of me doesn't want to shed it also.
Yeah, no, because we're very comfortable and we like it.
Yeah.
It's part of our sanskar. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. I've studied Christianity. I've studied how much Hinduism I had learnt at home. But with spiritual principles, now I understand the meaning of it all.
Okay.
So that is what spirituality does. Spirituality only simplifies it and helps us to understand in our normal vocabulary how we have to change our sanskars.
I like how you keep touching.
Because it's here.
It's here.
Yeah.
Explain to me what you wear. You wear a white sari. Most Brahma Kumaris are in white
Yeah.
saris. I've seen some in kurtas, white kurtas. And why white and why this outfit?
The ones who stay at home, they wear all normal colored clothes. The ones who are staying at the center, it's a dress code, basically. It's also simplicity. If at the center every sister was wearing like anything and everything, then that doesn't create that purity and that uniformity which you want at the center. So it is only sisters and brothers who are staying at the center who follow the dress code of wearing a white. The ones who are staying at home, they wear all their normal colored clothes. Most of them like to wear white, so they wear it white when they come to the center in the morning. Rest of the day, they are in their colored clothes.
Who decided कि सफ़ेद होना चाहिए? Because in most places they're wearing the kesariya rang. Most Hindu sects, cults, whatever you want to call
I think
that.
white is for purity.
Purity.
White is for simplicity. White doesn't absorb. White reflects. So white doesn't absorb vibrations of other people.
Why do you not absorb? There could be positive vibrations too, right?
There could be. I'm just saying that white doesn't. White doesn't. Agar aap dekho, that's why when someone leaves the body, everybody wears white.
In India, yes.
Yeah. Why? The reason is there's pain everywhere. And so don't absorb that pain. That's the reason where white is worn.
Okay.
So white doesn't absorb, black absorbs.
Is there a code by which you have to live by? कि ये आपने करना है. Why vegetarianism? Why celibacy? Why white? मतलब ये codes होते हैं आपके लिए?
No, it's not a code. It is explained and we choose when to do it and how much to do it. Everyone chooses. Everyone.
Why vegetarianism?
Vegetarianism, basic. Sattvic an. Jaisa an, vaisa man hai. So the food, the vibrations of the food will influence the state of mind of the person. So the non-vegetarian food vibrations, what would it be in a slaughterhouse? One, it's death. Before death, there is fear, aggression, helplessness, pain, violence, and then death. So that's tamasic bhojan, no? It has proteins. It may be good for physical health, though now even doctors say it's not. But vibrational wise, it's the lowest energy that I can consume.
So if somebody comes for your satsang and they have consumed tamasic bhojan,
Oh, they all come.
Will they be able to absorb your teachings?
Yes, of course. Today, so many are absorbing just sitting at home, watching from television. है ना? But when they start and they want to start taking their energy higher, which means you want to raise your vibrations, this will help. So it's not over there, you have to do this. It's not you have to. It's like a doctor. You go to a doctor, the doctor will give you the medicine. So that medicine is the gyan. Then the doctor will say, you know what, take care. Don't do this, do this. So those are like parhez. परहेज बताएंगे ना डॉक्टर, आप ऐसे नहीं करो. नाउ इट्स अप टू द पेशेंट ना, कि वो कितने कर सकते हैं, कितने नहीं कर सकते हैं. या बट जितने करेंगे दे विल हील फास्टर.
That's also true.
So it is that way.
See, remember when we were talking about how your grandparents had heard, and इसलिए they said कि नहीं, या तो तुम इस तरफ जाओ या ये path लो. There is no mingling of the two, right? So this is what happens when it comes to when people talk about Brahma Kumaris. नहीं, फिर तुमको ये करना पड़ेगा. As compared to say going to Sadguru or Shri Ravi Shankar, आप उनके टीचिंग्स फॉलो भी कर सकते हैं और अपनी ज़िंदगी भी जी सकते हैं. लेकिन अगर आप ब्रह्म कुमारी हो जाओगे तो आपकी बेटी या आपका बेटा जो है वो फैमिली लाइफ से अलग हो जाएगा. अ वुमन विल स्टॉप हैविंग वात्सल्य सेंटिमेंट्स. वो अपने बच्चों की तरफ वैसे नहीं देखेगी. शी लुक एट यू एज अ ह्यूमन, नॉट सो मच एज अ चाइल्ड. डज दैट हैपन?
We should call some of them to ask them what their experiences are.
Okay.
See, lust, yes, becomes an issue. That becomes an issue. It becomes an issue in every family when one of the family members starts coming. Some of them don't adopt celibacy, and that's also fine. Again, I'm saying it's not you have to. You don't have to. You're taught. It's up to... we are making it such a big issue today, though we know it from every religion. What does Srimad Bhagavad Gita say? काम विकार नर्क का द्वार है. See, we have read our scriptures, we have studied our scriptures. Question is, how much of it did we bring into our daily life?
But Shivani ji, excuse me for interrupting, but शास्त्रों में ये भी लिखा है कि पहले आप ब्रह्मचारी होंगे, फिर आप गृहस्थ होंगे, उसके बाद वानप्रस्थ होंगे, फिर after that sannyas. So every stage of life, they have told you that you need to go through these to understand the value of what you are going into and what you have experienced.
Right.
एक टाइम पीरियड होता है जब आप गृहस्थ जीवन, तो उसमें आप काम होगा.
गृहस्थ आश्रम भी तो है ना शास्त्रों में.
हाँ,
गृहस्थ आश्रम भी है. तो गृहस्थ आश्रम क्या होगा?
कि आप अपने ड्यूटीज निभाएंगे टुवर्ड्स आश्रम.
आज गृहस्थ आश्रम नहीं है ना, आज गृहस्थ कैसे हो गया है? See, anything that brings your energy down. The only difference is, earlier we said, if we want to practice celibacy, we have to leave home and go.
हाँ.
है ना? So that nobody had any problem with that. कि घर छोड़ के जाओ, आप दूर जाकर रहो, आश्रम में रहो, जंगल में रहो, पहाड़ों में रहो, and फिर आप इसको कर सकते हैं. But then everybody can't do that. Everybody can't leave home and go. And also it was believed that you will not be able to do it living at home.
Correct. Which is why Siddharth Buddha wala.
Yeah.
He left home.
But then actually everyone who's doing it here finds it very easy. इतना natural लगता है. कुछ भी नहीं है. Once you understand I'm a soul, this is my body. Lust is not a need of the body. Lust is just a thought in the mind. And today, if you see all the vices that are there, all the problems that are there on the planet are from these 5 vices. Because the vices... Lobh, moha, ahankar. 5. Whether it's corruption, whether it's terrorism, whether it's everything to do with lust we are seeing, it is from these 5 vices. Unless we overcome these 5 vices, we cannot change Bharat, we cannot change the world. Because these vices are only increasing. So like that cycle... सत्युग, त्रेतायुग, द्वापर युग, कलयुग. सो वाइसेस क्या चाहते जा रहे हैं? अति में जा रहे हैं. अभी घोर कलयुग.
We are in घोर कलयुग now.
Yeah, don't you think so? We are waging wars in the name of religion, that religion which came to unite us. That religion was supposed to unite us. What are we doing in the name of religion?
Hasn't it always been there? Generations, kingdoms.
Generations, yes, but we are talking of 2 yugas. When religion started, which means when the prophets gave us that religion, that knowledge, that wisdom, it was for our purity, for our peace, for compassion, forgiveness, unity.
But even in Treta Yuga there were wars. Even in Dwarpa, no?
That's then again. See, we have to understand. Satyug, Treta Yuga, when there are Devi Devtas, there cannot be any Asur. It is a perfect world. From Dwapar Yuga, to explain it to everybody, the win of truth over evil, the good over evil. So then we explain that yes, there is a Devi Devta and there is an Asur. But actually, what are we teaching? We are saying we have divinity also and we have our vices also. And if I let my divinity overpower my vices, then I will invoke that divinity within. तो it is to teach us कि बेटा होना चाहिए तो कैसा होना चाहिए, पत्नी होनी चाहिए तो कैसी होनी चाहिए. तो हमने कहा सीता जी जैसी होनी चाहिए, श्री राम जैसा होना चाहिए, लक्ष्मण जैसा भाई होना चाहिए, भरत जैसा. So what were being taught? We were being taught sanskars. We were being taught to be divine like them. Right? So that divinity is what we were being taught. But Satyug, Treta Yuga में only Devi Devtas. Dwapar Yuga से when vices started. So the war is actually between the good and the evil sanskar. And now the time is Ghor Kalyug. But Ghor Kalyug के बाद क्या आएगा? अब क्या आएगा घोर कलयुग के बाद?
You tell me.
आप बताइए, रात के बाद क्या आता है? रात के बाद क्या आएगा?
Dawn.
Yeah. So that is why the Prime Minister said that day, राम राज्य अब आना है. अमृत काल चल रहा है.
तो अमृत काल राम राज्य के लिए हम वेट करें या कुछ करें उसके लिए?
You think it will come on its own?
That's what I asked.
It cannot, right? Nothing can. Who created this Kalyug? We created this Kalyug. How did we create it? With all our vices. How will we create Satyug? With our purity. With our purity. With these vices, Satyug does not get created. This Satyug, these vices, you see what all is happening in society with vices. People, girls are not safe in their own homes. Children are not safe in their own homes. Is this called progress of the country or the world? Is this progress? पहले हम पड़ोसी के घर में भी सेफ थे. आज हम अपने घर में सेफ नहीं है. Is this progress? This is not progress. Outer progress. आंतरिक depletion.
How is that going to change, Shivani ji, in the sense that when you're talking about it, right now the country is very shaken, like it was in 2012. I'm not saying that rapes have not happened between 2012 and 2024. I'm not saying violent crime hasn't happened between 2012 and 2024. But there are incidents in a nation which shake the very core, Atman.
Yes.
It shakes all of us. We as daughters, we as mothers, we as sisters, part of family, you may not, whatever, you're born into families, it's shaken all of us. And not just women, it's shaken
Everybody.
men. Right?
Yes.
A man is born to a woman. So how there is a connection all the time, whether you are a single child or whatever, it's shaken everybody. It's shaken parents to be.
Yes.
It's shaken all of us. How do we change what is happening? You can't just think laws are going to change it. What's going to happen? How?
Exactly. That's what I've been talking about this whole month. I said, if we are shaken, then we better shake ourselves to change so that something like this doesn't happen again. What happens to the human mind is an influence of the vibration. It's an influence of the vibration. If you enter into a place of worship or a meditation center, you will suddenly feel a sense of calm and peace because that's the vibration that's created in that place. How was that vibration created? By all the people going into that place, praying, chanting, meditating. It creates a vibration. I can walk into that place stressed and suddenly I'll feel very peaceful and calm because of the vibration. Similarly, the planet has a vibration. The country has a vibration. Who's creating the vibration of the world? We are creating the vibration of the world. If we had to create a vibration of purity, peace, unity, harmony, people's minds would get influenced. But there is so much lust on human minds today. If everybody today listening here says that they are shaken by what happened, what are you going to do for it? What is your contribution that something like this doesn't happen again? Because what happens, we say that person was the criminal. We will put our finger on somebody. Yes, agreed. What he did, we don't want to discuss about that. Question is, you and me, what are we doing so that crime not just comes down, but it just finishes and never happens again? Simple contribution. Remove lust from your minds. Stop consuming content based on lust. Everybody is consuming content which is lust based, which is violence based, which is terror based. How do you expect to create purity and peace in the world? How is it going to happen? Crime is not only when it's physical, crime is even if you're just creating it in your mind. Because I am creating lustful vibrations in my mind. I'm watching those kind of movies. I'm watching those kind of content. I'm consuming that content. I'm radiating that vibration into the air. It's influencing human minds to the extent that for some people it will not just be there in their mind, it will come into words. And for some people it will come into their behaviors.
And then action.
And then action. So whether it is a road rage, whether it is a terror attack, whether there is this, it's all from those 5 vices. It's all from those 5 vices. So I cannot change that person, right? I cannot change you. I cannot change anybody else. But I can change myself. Am I ready to contribute? Is it enough? That's why we are saying after 2012, again, why 2024? What did we change in 2012? Nothing. We came together. We were all shaken. We prayed for her. We meditated. We had candlelight march. And after a few days, we went back to being the same people. Again, consuming pornographic content, forwarding those kind of messages to each other. What did we change? It's only increased. It's only increased from 2012 to 2024. We are vibrating lust into the air. We are vibrating terror into the air. If anybody wants to do something today, at least do this one thing. I will not consume any content which has even a slightest trace of lust or anger, and I contribute to radiating purity. Forget celibacy. वो छोड़ दो. We are not talking about that. At least you can stop this. आप इतना कर सकते हैं. It will be your contribution. You know, we can't just sit back and say they will change the world. Who's going to do it? We created the world and we will change it. It's not any one segment of society cannot change the country or the world. We cannot point fingers. What is our contribution? पूरा दिन हम फ़ोन और टीवी के साथ ऐसे 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 करते जा रहे हैं. Are you ready to take this personal responsibility? नहीं, हम कुछ नहीं कर रहे हैं. Again, you see, next week everybody will be back to doing the same thing. And again consuming more content, again radiating more lust into the air.
So you can't be insulated from watching content and living your life. It is going to impact, is what you're saying.
Content is emotional diet. What you watch, read, listen is what you become. It's 100% certain. Anybody can just change their content and within 2 months they will find themselves a new person. So content is what I watch, read, listen. Whether it's content right from media, whether it's information, what I'm talking, what I'm listening, for anything that's going inside. That's my mind nutrition. That will create my consciousness. That will create my thoughts. That will create my feelings. That will come into my words and behavior. So why can I not commit this much today? Can I not do this for that young girl? Can I not do this much? Is it just easy to say, how could that man do that? What am I doing? What am I doing? Let's come together and say this. That today I say. Because as a consumer, when we stop consuming this content, creators will stop creating it. But we go on consuming that kind of content. The creator goes on even more like, what should I now create so that the whole world is going to consume it? So it is the consumer's karma responsibility. We are all responsible for what's happening in the country and the world.
Young parents are also very, very shaken. One, those who already have children, worried about them. Those who want to be. You've spoken about Garbh Sanskar. Can you please tell us at this stage if there are women who want to have babies, who want to procreate, what they should do, how they should lead their lives, and as young mothers, what should people do?
First, as young girls before they get married. Right?
Yes.
In cities that you and me are living, having alcohol, smoking, other substance abuse in colleges and after that has started becoming normal. What influence will this have on the child? Are we taking moral responsibility of this? No, we're not even thinking of that. Then we get married, we're still partying, we're still socializing, and we're still consuming those substances. Will that not be there in the trace of my body? Will it not be there in my blood? Is this my right karma? No. Then, one day I come to know that I'm expecting a child. What am I changing after that? The doctor says, okay, 9 months, you should not drink, you should not smoke. I have seen mothers sitting across a gynecologist and saying, but ma'am, next month is New Year, even that day I will not drink. I have seen it. So, okay, chalo, forget alcohol, substances. What are we consuming in terms of what we are watching, reading, listening? Those 9 months, remember when you were in the womb of your mother, 9 months, your mother would have read only positive content, had Devi Devta's photos there, and
but then
said,
that's what they were taught, and they didn't think differently.
they were
didn't
taught
do
because
things.
what they watch, read, listen will influence what they think, and what they think will influence the soul in the womb of the mother. In your body at that time, there are two souls. When we keep going and getting the ultrasound done, we are only seeing the formation of the body in 9 months. The body will take those 9 months. The soul just enters the body. The soul leaves one costume. There is death somewhere. There will be death somewhere. The soul will leave the costume, enter the womb of the mother. So you, the soul, and that soul, there are two souls in the body for those months. And that's why the mother goes through emotional upheavals, emotional,
So the mother
turbulence.
has only created a body, not the soul.
No, soul cannot be created. That's energy. Energy cannot be created, energy cannot be destroyed. So when there is death, it is just the body which is finished. See, when a doctor is taking somebody in for a surgery, they will tell the nurse, sister so-and-so ko, and Mr. so-and-so ko andar lekar jao. Suppose it doesn't work. The doctor will say, sister, body ko bahar lekar jao. अभी पहले क्या बोला था? मिस्टर सो एंड सो को अंदर लेकर जाओ. अभी क्या बोला? बॉडी को बाहर लेकर जाओ. द फैमिली विल कम. Yesterday what were they saying? डॉक्टर साहब हमारे पापा को ठीक कर दो, हमारी मम्मी को ठीक कर दो. Now they are saying, डॉक्टर साहब हम बॉडी को घर कब लेके जा सकते हैं? तो अभी वो बॉडी है. So मेरा जिसके साथ रिश्ता था, that soul has left. So the body is matter. Matter was created, matter destroyed. And over there also, in the womb, matter is getting created. Energy will just enter into the womb of the mother, and that's when you will start feeling that first movement, that heartbeat. All those things will start after the soul has entered. So the soul is coming with their own sanskars and karma. So now, right now, I'm here. If I leave this costume, everything else will be left behind, but my sanskars and karma go with me. So you have children?
Yes.
2?
Yes.
Okay. Are they both similar?
Yes.
No. Sanskar-wise, both
No.
identical? No. So don't you ever think that we as parents are same? Everything we've given to them same? Then why is it that my 2 children are so different? Because 2 children are only 2 roles that they're playing now. They're 2 souls who have come from 2 different backgrounds. So they will come with 2 completely different set of sanskars.
Okay, that's a little scary.
No, it's not.
That I had nothing, no role to play in their character building.
You had after they were there in your womb. But before that, they're coming. So, like right now, if you leave the costume, you will leave with your sanskars. So, we have 5 set of sanskars. So, when I, the soul, enter the womb of the mother, I'm coming with my past sanskars and karma. And that's why within a couple of months, you must have got the Janam Patri made of the child.
No.
Okay. Most families get
Most
it made.
families, yeah.
How do they know the destiny of the child within a few days? The child has not even done any karma. It's the Janam Patri of the soul, because they have done so many sanskars and karma and have come. Then the second set of sanskars is during those few months when that soul is in the womb of the mother. That's called Garbh sanskar, which means what you are thinking, what you are feeling. You means both parents, but mother more, because you are in the same costume, that's all. So what you are eating, what you are drinking, what is your vocabulary, what music you're listening to, what movies you're watching, everything that soul is absorbing inside. And that's why if you check during your 2 pregnancies, if family situations or your life, something was different in those 2 pregnancies, you will see a reflection of that in your 2 children.
Correct.
You will see it. That is called Garbh sanskar. So suppose a mother was going through some painful feelings, suppose there was financial crisis. Sometimes the first pregnancy, it's a young first time pregnancy, anxiety, it is new profession, not yet settled. It's a very different scenario of the mother that influences the child. By the next time, it's a different scenario. So this is Garbh sanskar. Now earlier when you and me were in the womb, the mothers were taught to watch healthy, listen healthy, Be very easy. Everybody was taught isko khush rakhna, because they were creating emotional, powerful sanskars. Now most of us are working,
Yeah.
and which is fine. It's not about the working, but along with the work, we said stress is normal, jealousy is normal, comparison and competition is normal, and then came content. So content consumption is normal. So that is what is affecting the children. So now we have hyperactivity, ADHD, so many issues. जैसे अरे आजकल के बच्चे इतने हाइपर क्यों हैं? क्यों नहीं हाइपर होंगे? आप हाइपर थे when they were in the womb. So वो हाइपर ही होंगे. So Garbh Sanskar means emotional health of the child. In Bharat, it's spiritually Garbh Sanskar. In the West, it's called prenatal, perinatal psychology. It's called womb psychology. It's called birthing psychology. So it's sanskars. If today any mother, and we have a project on Divine Garbh Sanskar, if a mother takes care during those 9 months, no consuming any content of that quality. No months, no. Not at all. No consuming any content which is a lower energy. No eating out. Eating. Eating out because
the
again
vibration.
vibrations. Yes.
Huh.
See, basically eating out, when you buy food, it has been cooked with the intention of money and profit. It has not been cooked with the intention of nurturing and health. It is their business, and business is fine. It's their business. But do you want to give your child food that is cooked for business? Or you want to give your child food that has been cooked with love and blessings? That is creating emotional health.
Aren't both foods cooked to make the person eating happy? No?
Food is for health, and it gives health to the body, and it gives health to the mind. The vibration with which the food has been cooked, the state of mind with which the food has been cooked. See, why you will travel all over the world and then you will come back and say, वो मेरी मम्मी जिस तरह से बनाती है ना, वो बड़ा tasty लगता है. It's not that our mothers are the best chefs in the world. No, not at all. But that mother's energy is a different vibration in that food. So there are 3 types of food. Prasad, which means cooked in the remembrance of God. So अभी मंदिर, मस्जिद, गुरुद्वारे, आश्रम में खाना कैसे बनता है? सेवा भाव, परमात्मा की याद, भजन चल रहे हैं, मंत्र चल रहे हैं, high energy environment, peaceful. That's one environment. Second, at home. So earlier at homes also, it was cooked like as if it's being cooked in the mandir only. नहा धो के, सफाई करके, नंगे पाँव जाकर, भगवान को याद करके फिर वैसा खाना बनाते थे. आजकल थोड़ा कम करते हैं वैसा. आजकल यहाँ वो कान में लगा लेते हैं. They are chatting with somebody or they are listening to movie songs. So that's not the way to cook food. It is going to increase your stress, anxiety, worry, everything in your house. So just start cooking at home like you would cook in a place of worship. So cook prasad at home. And if you're cooking for family, it should not be out of attachment. Like what you said that time, that those who come here, do they become very cold and indifferent and they say, ye mera bachcha nahi hai. We don't become cold and indifferent. We become powerful. We become powerful because we shift. We're no more attached to our family. We're not attached because we understand attachment is a weakness. It's kam, krodh, lobh, moho, ahankar. So moho is a vice. We shift from attachment to love.
See, this is where I lose
See, मैं आपको simple बताती हूँ. Simple experiment.
How does one not have more towards, more towards the parents, more towards
If I understand what moho means then, and I understand what love means, they're 2 words. Which one do you want to choose? Attachment or love?
I think both are connected, no?
Both are opposites. They are like day and night. Attachment is a depleter. Love is an energizer. What is attachment? 2 children are born joint. कई बार बच्चे पैदा होते हैं ना जुड़े हुए. Is life comfortable?
No.
No. They have to sit together, stand together, sleep together. No, then we operate them. This is called detachment. Now one can sit, the other one can stand. Similarly, moho attachment means my mind is attached to your mind, which means my mind is dependent on your mind. Now, if you are upset, I will also feel low.
Yeah.
Now, suppose your child is feeling low today, but for whatever reason, how would you be?
I would be sad too.
Okay. Now, this is your child on the left hand. This is you on the right hand. Your child is feeling low. That means, let's say, gone a little lower in energy. What do you think is your role right now as a parent?
To uplift that child.
But if you are sad, then how will you do it?
I will pull myself out of that sadness level.
Then you have detached yourself. Now you are detached from that vibration. That means you are untouched by the child's lower energy and you're going to a higher energy. This is detachment. Attachment means be, वो दुखी है तो मैं भी दुखी हूँ. वो दर्द में है. This is attachment, which means you and me are at the same vibration. Now what you said, I will pull myself up. This is detachment.
To pull him out
That's
also.
all, but that is what's going to happen. वो होने ही वाला है अपने आप. When you raise your energy and you become powerful, you become calm, you are creating very pure thoughts for that situation which your child is going through. Your vibrations will radiate to your child. That is the power to empower. That is love. This is love. This was attachment. आप रो रहे हो तो मैं भी रो रही हूँ. आप दुखी हो तो मैं भी दुखी हूँ is attachment. आपने ऐसे बोला तो मुझे बुरा लगा. This is attachment. आपने ऐसे बोला, I understand. Your sanskar, your state of mind right now. I radiate blessings to you. This is detachment.
Oh, that's very hard.
It's very easy. Soul strengthening. It's very easy. Because if you say that the day my child is feeling low, I will suddenly uplift myself, you won't be able to do it that day. You cannot. It's like you cannot suddenly strengthen yourself on the day there is disease. You have to strengthen yourself on a daily basis. No, physically you will do
So
it daily.
if I don't do that, like for example, let's go back to the case of, let's talk, say, an international issue instead of always talking about what happened in the Israel-Palestinian conflict, when that thing happened in October, right? If I don't have compassion, if I don't understand what is happening with the situation that the Israelis, what they went through, where their women were taken, raped, mass murders happened. If I don't feel compassion and energy towards those Palestinians whose hospitals are being bombed and those children, how can I not empathize? I mean, if I'm in a sense
Compassion, empathy is higher energy. Hatred, aggression, fear is a lower energy.
don't they go together at times?
Higher and lower cannot, it's like health and disease cannot go together. If I'm creating hatred, I'm creating hatred right now. So let's say, again, what happened in the country a few days back. Protest is fine, but what are we doing to radiate peace to the soul who's moved forward on the journey? So at the Brahma Kumaris, what we do is, whenever there's anything that's happening, national, international, city, we focused meditation for them. Focused. We sit all together, not even just individually. We sit all, we do what has to be done, like in a natural calamity, we will go out, we will do. That's physical seva. That's what you're in the doing. In the being, not hatred. Because then I will add to the hatred in the air. Not fear. Then I will add to the lower energy in the air. Meditate, radiate peace. Meditate, radiate power. Meditate, radiate compassion.
How? You're sitting in Delhi, that case happened in Kolkata. I'm sitting in Delhi, that happened in Israel.
You're radiating it to the souls there. Vibration is not bound by time and space. It's just air. It's just radiates. It's your energy. Think of your child right now. The child will catch your energy there.
How? You're a science student. Tell me how.
Energy, vibration. Vibration just travels. You do one thing. Experiment with one thing. If you have a little undercurrent in any relationship, anybody. Let's say you had an issue today with somebody at work. You're very good friends with them, but आज कुछ बात हो गई ऐसे today. Now normal emotion will be, उसने ऐसे किया. That person will also say, मैम ने मुझे गुस्सा कर दिया, ये कर दिया. And you will go home, she or he will go home, but you both are creating that same energy of unrest. Now, the more both of you are creating, the more it's going to increase on both the minds. Now, if one out of the two just changes her energy, and so what I would do is, I would just sit back and I say, emerge that soul and I say, I'm really sorry for how I behaved with you. And now I send you a lot of love and blessings. Let's just forget everything that happened. I don't need to talk about it every time.
Even if I'm wronged, I have to apologize through my mind?
Yes, of course. Because I'm going to settle that, finish that conflict that get created. I may be wrong, but something that I did hurt you. So sometimes I'm right in what I did, but for the other person, it still hurt that person. So I said, you know what, I don't still agree with what you wanted me to do, but I'm sorry that what I did hurt you. So I don't want to be the cause of your pain. And you just experiment this. Don't say anything. Don't write also. Just create those thoughts, and next morning she and you will be different.
Sometimes being right, you get into trouble. Is it okay to continue on that right, taking those right paths, saying the right things, but at the wrong time, and causing agony as a result of that, but staying with your principles? I'm saying this
Yes.
because, for example, what happened with, say, Kangana Ranaut. Now, many of the reporters, many of the politicians say that, but what she said is part of it is something that happened. Now, it's subject to interpretation, but another lot say that she shoots her mouth. She says things when it should not be said. So the opportune moment should have been taken. It is not politically right to say it. Others say that, look how brave she is. She says the right thing regardless of the consequences. What is the right thing?
What everyone will say will depend on their sanskar. And that's why every situation will be perceived differently by every person. Every person will also be perceived differently by everybody. How I will perceive you will be through my sanskars. It's like even your sari. Go and ask 10 people how they like your sari. Everybody will have a different opinion. You bought it because you liked it. Everybody else will have a different opinion depending on their choices, their tastes. Similarly, everybody will have a different opinion about me. But then I'm not living my life as to about what people's opinion about me are. I should live my life by what is my right karma. Right karma doesn't just mean just saying, I don't know what has happened, so I don't know what the news is about. I'm saying right karma is not about just saying what is right. It is about, is that saying benefiting? Is that saying uplifting? Is that saying creating a transformation, a reformation? Then it's right. So the right karma would be the what gets the right result. Right? It should get the right result. And most important, said in the right way. The vocabulary should be uplifting. The vocabulary should never pull anybody down. So even if I say the right thing, so let's say I want to say something right to you, but my vocabulary is not right in the way I'm talking to you. I'm criticizing you and saying it. I'm demeaning you and saying it. Then it's not my right karma. It doesn't matter what everybody else thinks about it. It's just not right, my right karma.
Shivani, when you talk about vocabulary, the way of speaking, when you speak, there is a calmness, there is a steadiness in the way you speak. I may not have that, and certainly a person who doesn't have the benefits of education or a peaceful, calm family life, they may not have it. Somebody who has seen conflict, may have been a caste conflict, a class conflict. उनकी जुबान इतनी level नहीं होगी, right?
It's not about level. It's not about level. It's about सम्मान. It's about respect. And अगर नहीं है, मेरी भी नहीं थी. I was not speaking like this, how I'm speaking now today. But then that's why we're here to learn. So if there is something I don't have, then I should learn that. And it's actually not in the way of speaking. We really never practice on the way of speaking. Our practice is all on the way of thinking. But when my way of thinking will change, so I don't have to practice respectful in speaking. I need to practice being respectful in my thinking about you. So spirituality will teach me, I just can't come to you and talk nice to you. So if I'm talking nice to you, I'll say, oh good, I was nice to her. But if I was creating thoughts about you, why is she saying this? Why is she doing this? I will have to go home and check my karma. And I will say, how did I even think like this? And then I change my thought. So spirituality is working on the spirit, the soul. We're not working on words and behavior. Working on every thought. Every thought should be a high vibrational thought. Words and actions will automatically be taken care of.
I met with an activist who was very aggressive in speech. And I asked him, why? Why won't you have lesser followers? An activist turned politician. I said, won't you have lesser people coming to you? Why do you need to be so rude and aggressive? And his reaction was that I need it because if I'm not aggressive, I will not be able to bring change. ये काम वगैरह जो आप बात करती हैं ना, ये आपका privileged background है, उसकी वजह से आप में वो calmness है. You are okay with evolutionary changes which will come over time. I am a person who comes from a kind of society which has been subjugated, which has been crushed, और जब तक हम aggressively grab नहीं करेंगे, हम wait नहीं कर सकते. हमने बहुत इंतजार कर लिया. Tell me now.
I will not talk about their sanskar and their perception. See again, every soul will have different sanskar, different perception. We only have to see what is the result.
Would you see it as a baser, lower energy? What do you say?
What does it do to your energy? That is the way of checking. What does it do to your energy? What does it do to other people's energy? And what does it do to the vibrational energy? That's the way of checking karma. What is it doing to my energy? So if I shout at you and speak right now, immediately I'm depleting my energy, because it's not just my volume. See, when I'm going to shout, my words and intentions will also change, right? So I'm immediately depleting my energy. Those words are not going to be nice for you. My energy is not going to be nice for you, because it's a very negative, critical energy that I'm throwing at you. It's going to deplete you. It's going to deplete this air. So I don't call that right karma for myself. Myself.
Okay, let's go to that, what you were talking about, the food. And so I've seen my few interactions with Brahma Kumari. आप लोग सिर्फ like बाहर नहीं खाएंगे. You will not eat in a restaurant. You will not eat outside. It's only the food that you cook. Do you think that outside food is polluted?
No, it's not polluted. It's just that it's cooked for profit, one. And second, it's cooked in a very hurried environment. Third, I don't know who's cooked it.
Why? How does it matter?
It matters. Today you cook, go home today, and in a very tensed state cook for your children. And very soon, within a couple of hours, you will see them, their mind will change. So if I am on a journey, this is not for everybody, but if I'm on a journey where I'm moving upwards, I want to move upwards, then I automatically remove the things which are going to take me down. So today morning I'm sitting, I'm meditating, I'm saying I'm peaceful, I'm calm, I want to move up. And then I just go and have one breakfast which someone has cooked with worry or with stress. I will go 2 steps down. That is jaisa an vaisa man. Jaisa an vaisa man is working always. It's just that we're not aware of it, so we don't look at the changes. I can make out immediately now. Even where I'm eating on the daily basis, I will go inside and say, आज आपका मूड ठीक नहीं है? He said, क्यों अच्छा नहीं बना था? I said, अच्छा तो बना था, but vibration different थी. आपका मूड ठीक नहीं है, क्या बात हुई? Come on, resolve what's on your mind before you cook the next meal.
What do you eat? You said sattvic bhojan. What
normal is food? Normal food, but without onion garlic.
Why? Tamsik.
Tamsik. So like you would eat in Navratri without onion garlic. Okay. So why do you eat that in Navratri? Because you're invoking divinity. You're invoking the Shakti. So what you would do for 9 days, even celibacy is during Navratri. Okay. Even sattvic food is during Navratri. And fasting. So fasting actually means fasting over negativity, fasting over vices. व्रत मतलब वृत्ति को बदलना, attitudes को change करना. So just Navratri for 9 days for us for a lifetime.
Is it difficult?
Very simple. I couldn't want to live another way. It's simple. I haven't eaten out for 27 years.
Seriously?
Yeah.
So when you travel abroad, what do you do?
So we go to the centers, we eat, or many of the students also don't eat out. It's not only the center sisters. We carry with us, we have our little those, small electric, क्या बोलते हैं उसको, small cookers. We have our own suitcase which has only all this खाना बनाने की चीज़ है. हमें बड़ा मजा आता है.
So you take pulses, rice,
everything, whatever we have to take.
आपको रोकते नहीं है customs immigration?
नहीं, अभी I to go to the centers now, नहीं रोकते हैं. We cook in the hotel. We've all learned how to do all these things.
Okay.
But we will not eat out. मतलब it's like how a strict vegetarian will not eat non-veg ना. Similarly like that we'll not.
तो आप what do you do? आप पहले prayer करते हैं, फिर खाना बनाते हैं?
पहले खाना बनाते हैं, उसके बाद सारा खाना लेते हैं एक प्लेट के अंदर, और उसके साथ focus 10 minutes और meditation करते हैं. And then go back and add that to the food.
The energy.
Yeah, the meditation. You actually so that if I'm cooking for 1 hour, I might not always be in my perfect state for 1 hour. ना मेरे को कोई thought आ जाएगी, अच्छा आज इनसे मिलने जाना है, आज ये करना है. Some more random thoughts बीच में आ जाएगी. So then focus 10 minutes meditation after all the food is ready. And then once it comes onto the plate on the table, then again 2 minutes of silence, again meditate, and then start eating, and no screens while eating.
I hope people are listening to
no
this.
No screens while eating to should be for everybody. I think everyone can do that. Because if they
distraction.
not distraction, words. Those words are going into your food.
Oh.
If you're watching something, see what children are doing today. Parents are giving them screens because it's easier to eat. No, अभी हमारे parents जितनी मेहनत नहीं करते वो खाना खिलाने में, it takes time.
पीछे पीछे दौड़ो और
हाँ,
खिलाओ.
चला वो करना नहीं पड़ता. To you switch on. Even if you switch on a cartoon film for a kid, it's violence. So your child is absorbing vibrations of violence while eating. And जैसा अन्न वैसा मन. Then don't say मेरा बच्चा ऐसा झगड़ा क्यों कर रहा है. आप 2 महीने you just change the way the child eats, you will find different.
And suppose you put on music?
Soothing.
Soothing music.
Soothing. You can put on things which high energy words. Put high energy words while cooking, while eating. For us, in every rasoi, we have high energy words while the cooking is going on.
Such as?
Whatever everybody likes. Bhajan ho, mantra ho, pratna ho. For us, we have spiritual songs. For us, the morning Murli class, we play that again while cooking.
Okay.
The audio of that. So everybody can choose whatever they like, whatever their family likes, but put high energy words in the rasoi.
You know, earlier you talked about कि जब लेखराज जी right, जब वो कह रहे थे कि सब कुछ खत्म होने वाला है, and then he realized that there's going to be something new that will come.
Yeah.
This is what I think when there used to be criticism about the Brahma Kumari sect earlier,
Yes.
it used to be said कि apocalypse होगा.
Yeah.
End of the world will happen and things like that. Have you shed that thought?
No, it's still the same. But it's not end of the world. They didn't understand it, those who were listening. It's end of the Kalyugi way of living. It's end of Kalyug. But end of Kalyug means Satyug starts. It's not end of the world.
What will happen? Will there be a big bang? According to you, what will happen? How will Kalyug end? Achhe sanskar you said, but...
सब दिख रहा है ना अभी आजकल आसपास, how things will go through a transformation.
Spiraling down is what you're saying?
See, natural calamities, climate change will happen in a big way in the next few years. It is a big transformation that's going to happen. But it's not the world coming to an end. It's the world changing. But those 3 sakshatkar which Brahma Baba had, we are now seeing them sakshat happening in the world. Religion-based war. Nuclear missiles are all ready. And climate change. These are the 3 things that will clean the world.
He saw this happening.
Yeah.
And his thing is that you can't prevent it, you can't change it. It's something which will happen.
He just saw that sakshatkar. That's what I'm saying. He just saw it. And so now we are seeing it. So when I even came to the Brahma Kumaris, let's say 1995, 96, I said like, but the world seems perfect. कुछ ऐसा लग तो नहीं रहा कि कुछ होने वाला है ऐसा करके. But today we know, we can see it all there. Look at mental health issues on the rise.
Yes.
So this is only going to increase in the next few years.
Shivani ji, I want to read a quote which you said. Of course, the internet is filled with your quotes. But a quote here which struck me, in which you said, forgiveness is not about forgetting the past. It's about letting go of hurt and moving forward. I'm going to come back to this. How do you speak to the parents of that girl who was raped and killed, of letting go of the trauma?
Yeah.
How do you talk to the Palestinians, let go of how do you talk to the Ukrainians, the Russians, everywhere in the world? You have centers everywhere in the world, and there is trauma everywhere in the world.
Yes.
How do you explain that, the trauma that you're going through, and the person who has inflicted hurt on you, learn to forgive that person? How?
When the person has inflicted hurt on you, they've created a karma. And law of karma is working with them, and law of country is working with them, right? Forgiveness is not about the other person. Forgiveness only means to heal yourself. It's not about the other person. We are not saying this person who did this should be released. No, that is not forgiveness. The law of country and law of karma will take its course with that soul, whoever has indulged in whatever they have indulged in all over the world. When we say you forgive, which means you release your hatred and your resentment for yourself. It is for yourself. Once, I'll give you 2 examples. A sister came to our center. She was about 35 years old. She was abused when she was 5 years old. Her parents had left her, in that unaware. And she held a lot of resentment against her parents. At that child, 5-year-old child, how that child programmed the mind. Resentment against parents, not trusting people. She didn't get married. She chose to just live alone. Very lonely and bitter about the world. And when she was sitting one day in the meditation room, and of course she had been studying all this, and then she came out one day and she said, "You know what? I've understood what I did." I said, "What happened?" She said, "That person did very wrong to my body once, 30 years back. I did wrong to myself for 30 years because I held on to that hatred and that resentment." She said, "I have wronged myself for 30 years. She said, "Today, I release that person from my mind." This is forgiveness. Then another. There was a family whose 10-year-old child was kidnapped, and then the child is no more. And they saw CCTV footage of that, where it had happened. A lot of hatred. And then there was court case. So every time the parents had to go to court, and they had to see that man standing over there. And this parent came to the center and they said, the mother said, "The pain of my child, yes." But she said, "When I see that person, I'm full of so much hatred, so much, I just can't go to court, but I have to go every time." So, and then she was just sitting and she said, "I want to finish this karmic account with this soul. What will I have to do? I have to release that person from your mind, not from the law of the country, from your mind." So I said, "You'll have to release this person from your mind." She said, "Yeah, I just don't want to think of that person. I don't want that person coming on my mind." I said, "So you'll have to say, I release you. I forgive. I forget. I release you." Just keep saying it every day. Keep saying it every day. It's over. Because solution I don't have now. My child is not coming back. She said, "But looking at him, I just go through so much trauma." See, you relive your trauma again and again. So forgiveness is nothing about the other person. Forgiveness is your healing. And it's very important to heal yourself emotionally, because understanding the journey of the soul, if I don't heal myself now, then I'm carrying this trauma with me even next.
Next where?
Next, my next birth, in my next costume. Most of our issues in this lifetime are carry forward of previous births. So some people feel rejected, but nobody around them is rejecting them right now. They'll say, "No, they don't love me. She doesn't love me. He doesn't love me." Some people get hurt very easily. Why are you getting hurt? Everybody is being nice to you. These are our past emotional baggages which we carry. So when we say, "I forgive, I release," I'm only cleaning here. It has nothing to do with that person. That person, law of country, and most important, law of karma. Law of karma is not going to leave that person.
You've spoken about victims of crime. What about criminals? They come to your ashram they have committed a crime. How do they, of course, you said that karma, the law will take its course.
The
They are battling
sisters
that.
go to the jails. Like even in Tihar jail, the sisters go to the jails and they teach meditation there. Some people go through total reformation.
Reformation in what way?
They realize what they have done, but they change completely as a person. And actually that should be the intention. Na?
Yes.
The intention should be reformation. Na?
Yes.
So when Tihar jail started, under Kiran Bedi ji, it was all about reformation, transformation, not just punishment. It was about, because if we don't work on the reformation of the person, then we are not going to be able to finish crime. So reformation is something. So the sisters go to all the centers. Even last week, Raksha Bandhan, they will go to all the center, all the jails. They will tie Rakhi. They will tell to them, this is purity. You're a pure soul.
So they believe it?
Oh, yes. Not everybody, but yes. There are a lot of jails in which there are regular classes which go on.
How do they, are they consumed by guilt? Are they consumed by hatred?
Everyone is a soul who is very pure and peaceful and powerful. I am a victim to it's like I give example of this white sari. Everyone is white. So let's say you and me both wore white in the morning, but during the day your and my role was different. So you will have stains on your sari at the end of the day, I will also have stains. But your stains and my stains will be different. And one of us could have some very bigger stain.
Yes.
But original color is white.
Okay.
So crime is the stain. So we say it's a crime, not a criminal.
Exactly what Kiran Bedi also says.
Achha, so I'm sorry, I didn't. But it's a crime, which means it's a dag, a very big one, which harmed many people. But the soul is still The soul also doesn't know that I am actually a very beautiful, pure, divine soul. So when you remind them, you work with them, you heal with them, some of them are completely changed people.
Uh, Another question, which is that can you said that people of all religions come to you and all. What happens if a Nastic comes to you, doesn't believe in God, and
Yeah.
how do you teach spiritualism, and how do you teach good way of life without that?
Spirituality is first about the soul. God is second. First is soul. So I am a soul, I am energy, the creator of every thought and feeling and emotion. That much everybody understands. Everyone. Second thing, my original nature of every soul is purity, peace, love, power, happiness, wisdom, and bliss. Sato Guni Atma. Every soul on this planet is a Sato Guni Atma, which means it's made of 7 qualities. Now just start meditating on those 7 qualities.
But there is a Nirakar God that you talk about.
Yes, so if they don't want to connect there, but they can at least start working on themselves.
Okay, so they don't need to connect with all that you say will help in this.
Everybody doesn't need to connect. Now, everybody's choice. Again, I'm telling you, it's like a doctor.
Huh.
You tell them everything. Now, it's for them to take what they want to take out of that.
So when people come to you and they say that when they're coming and you're speaking and they say हम नहीं विश्वास करते हैं भगवान में, do you think that their life is any lesser or their soul is more less impacted?
No, not at all. If they are able to raise themselves to the highest vibration without connecting to God, that's perfect. That's power.
What do you have to say about the various sects and the cults which are there? Some Baba or some Guru. There are also, and everywhere in the world there
Yes,
are,
of course.
right? There is a kind of like those who go to them, the devotees, start believing in the person rather than the teaching, which you spoke earlier, because it's probably the easier thing to do. Like ये भगवान है, तो हर चीज़ में बाबा के पास चले जाओ. मेरा बेटा इससे शादी करना चाहता है, ये सही है कि नहीं आप बताइए. मैं रात को सो नहीं सकता, ये पत्थर रखिए, सो जाइए. What do you say about those babas?
See, it's more about us who go there. We have to understand they are a teacher who are teaching you something. Take the teaching. But to remember that they are also on a journey. They are also on the journey. It's like if I go into a college, I may be in the first year and somebody may be in the fourth year. So that fourth year will be able to teach me a lot. But I need to understand and remember that that person is also in the fourth year only. What happens is we idolize them and we place them on a very high pedestal. We actually start looking at them as God. And then suddenly we see one fault. And we're like, ये ऐसे कैसे कर सकते हैं? But you placed them there. They and we are all souls, human beings. We're all on the journey. It's like your white sari, my white sari, both were stained. Probably I just started washing a few years before you. So I've just learned how to wash, and I'm showing you also that, you know what, you could also wash like this. But I should also not claim that, you know what, I'm stain free. Never. I was once at an airport, and there was a big group, and there was one senior Guruji on the airport. And there was this young boy who comes up to me. He said, मैं आपके साथ फोटो खींचूं, आज मेरा birthday है. I said, yeah, good, come. And then I said, आज आपका birthday है. What did you decide today for your birthday? And he said, I just created a thought that I should always be with my Guruji. So I didn't even pause to think. It was just my natural thing. I said, don't you think you should have created a thought that I always absorb and inculcate what my Guruji has taught? He was not happy with what I said, and he moved away. After half an hour, he came back again, and he said, why did I not think like that? Because somewhere that conditioning only began that you want to be around that person, and it is that person who is doing everything in your life. That's not spirituality.
But there is a lot of pressure, no? जैसे किसी के, you go to, suppose I go to a satsang by some Guruji. Now, the others around will tell you the miracles that Guruji has done, right? Male, female, whichever religion जो भी है. But the point is, ये देखो कितने बढ़िया, and then you have to go there, you have to do this. ये pressure होता है बहुत.
See, first of all, spirituality means not miracles outside. Not miracles outside. Here. यहाँ का miracle कोई और नहीं कर सकता आपके लिए. Go to someone and say, मुझे सारा दिन के मन की शांति दे दो आज के लिए. Can anybody give that to you?
No.
No. So that we have to create it on our own. Somebody can teach you how to do it. But they are teaching learn based on their experiences. But after that, who's going to do it? We have to do it. So we have to remember, it's our power. They can teach, they can guide, but finally it's my sanskar, my karma, and my destiny. So we don't go or have anyone coming to us for any kind of magic outside. We are here for magic inside.
But I'm sure people come to you कि फलां बाबा जी ने इसका मेरे बेटे का अस्थमा खत्म कर दिया, आप इनका टीबी खत्म कर दो और whatever.
हमारे पास थोड़े दिन पहले कोई आया था, ही लॉस्ट अ लॉट ऑफ मनी इन बिजनेस. तो आई सेड आप आ जाओ मेडिटेशन सीखो. ही सेड मेरा बिजनेस ठीक हो जाएगा. आई सेड नहीं, कोई गारंटी नहीं. आप ठीक हो जाओगे गारंटी, और मुझे ऐसा लगता है आप ठीक हो जाओगे तो आपका नया बिजनेस अच्छा चल जाएगा. दैट्स द इक्वेशन.
Okay, that's a point.
दैट इज द इक्वेशन. हम आपका बिजनेस नहीं ठीक कर सकते, कोई भी नहीं ठीक कर सकता एक्चुअली. लेकिन आप अपने आप को ठीक कर लोगे, विच मीन्स यू विल कम आउट ऑफ योर पेन एंड दैट फेलियर एंड यू एम्पावर योर सेल्फ. वट एवर यू डू नेक्स्ट यू विल बी सक्सेसफुल.
Do successful or wealthy people have more issues as compared to people who are from middle class families or lower middle class families or poor families?
Different issues.
Such as?
Now where there's a lot of wealth, there are a lot of other issues which have come. Like culture in the house has changed now.
Breakdown of families?
Family unit, relationship, loyalty, lot of things.
Those are in conflict even in middle class families. You are from a middle class family.
Yeah.
I am from one. I know that in our childhood we didn't see really
But
much of
तब में और अब
conflict.
में बहुत फर्क है ना.
क्यों?
Content. If you draw a graph of this, you and me were in that era when the first TV came.
Yes.
So we are the only generation who's seen the first TV, the first mobile, the first internet exposure, the first social media, the first content. Everything we have seen the first. You and me would probably go for a movie once in a month or once in 2 months. अच्छा पास हो गए, अब आपको picture दिखाई जाएगी. You know, it used to be like that. That was our level of content. And so if we go that 30 years back, how much cancer was there in society? How much depression was there? How much diabetes was there? How much divorce was there? What was there? It was such rare words. Rare. When we were in school, stress word भी नहीं था हमारे पास तो. हमें सिर्फ एग्जाम के एक दिन पहले थोड़ी सी टेंशन होती थी एंड खत्म. रेस्ट ऑफ द ईयर वो टेंशन भी नहीं होती थी. What happened in these 30 years? It is this content graph which started from one serial a week, one episode, to daily episodes, to 24/7 episodes, to half an hour news in the morning or in the night, read out in a very sweet, peaceful manner, only giving information, to 24/7 news channels, debates, everything. It's content. Social media. So content. Content is emotional diet. When we started doing the Awakening with Brahma Kumaris program, it just happened. There was no preparation, not even a planning. So chalo karo aur khatam karo. After about 3-4 months when I went for programs and I started, not 3-4 months, 6-7 months, I met people saying, मेरा ये ठीक हो गया, मेरा वो ठीक हो गया. And I was like, ऐसे कैसे हो सकता है? They've not come to the center. So my belief system was you have to come to the center, you have to meditate daily, then there will be some change inside you. Well, like नहीं, हमारा divorce होने वाला था, नहीं होगा, हम वापस ठीक हैं. Some even said I was contemplating suicide, depression, normal thought process. I was like, कैसे हो सकता है? I said, did you come to the center? No. I said, नहीं, कैसे ठीक हुआ घर पे बैठ के? I worked on that and I understood. 30 minutes. That time there was no social media. It was TV. So it was very religious watching, you know, exactly at that time. 30 minutes of positive content on a daily basis. 30 minutes of positive content every single day they were consuming. They were creating changes in their life. Then I realized if 30 minutes of positive content can bring you out of depression, then 24/7.
Yeah. True. There's also something to be said about stillness, which meditation does. एक जगह बैठ के आप चाहे concentrate करो या कुछ करो ना, वो stillness जो है, which if you go back, kids who were born in the 60s and 70s, their summer vacation of 2 months used to be of doing nothing.
Nothing, absolutely.
Or just going out to play.
Yeah.
But play when the sun went down.
Yeah.
weekends were just Sunday because there was no Saturday, Sunday chutti. In
Yeah.
some schools there were.
Alright.
Saturday, Sunday didn't mean activity. It just
Yes,
meant
right.
slow down.
Yes.
But now, over the years, Saturday, Sunday is filled with activity for children. Parents have filled it. पियानो क्लास भी करो, आप टेनिस के लिए भी जाओ, बैडमिंटन के लिए भी जाओ, लैंग्वेज सीखो, एक्स्ट्रा क्लासेस पे जाओ, कोचिंग के लिए जाओ. So Saturday, Sunday is also so much of work to
And
be
holidays
done.
also.
And holidays also. Is
Yeah.
prepare for your entrance exam, prepare for आप स्पोर्ट्स कोटा में होगे या इस पे होगे. The stress of not having, of packing your day with activity, of not being still, वो भी एक चीज़ है. किसी को आप कह के तो देखो, मैं खुद नहीं still हो सकती.
And not being able to be with yourself.
Yeah. Why? Fear?
कभी खाली बैठे ही नहीं.
Is it fear of stillness?
No, कभी anything that you never did. Anything that you never did. You've not done it for the last few years. आप आज से करना आप शुरू करो. Just sit 10 minutes doing nothing.
I can't.
हो जाएगा थोड़ी देर बाद.
That's the most difficult thing I've faced. I mean, whatever I'm
You
doing.
just start, don't meditate, don't do anything. Just 10 minutes, do nothing. Just sit. Which means don't pick up the phone. So that's all. So just put away the phone somewhere else. See, for us, for you and me, it's still easier because we've grown up that way. At least we had those. Imagine in the holidays, we used to tell mummy, bore हो रहा है. तो she said, हो bore, मैं क्या कर सकती हूँ इसमें? तुम्हारी छुट्टी है, तुम हो bore. So we knew how to take care of ourselves, be with ourselves. What they are being taught that you are always engaged with the stimulus outside. So they cannot sit alone with themselves. तो अपने आप के साथ तो रिश्ता ही नहीं बना. And that's why the mind is always needing a stimulus to feel something here. जैसे ही खाली बैठेंगे, discomfort. And that is why the mind is becoming weaker. Emotional health is getting weaker because emotional health has become dependent on some stimulus or the other outside. So which means we are shifting from a world of emotional independence to a world of emotional dependency. And that's why थोड़ी सी बात हुई तो stress. थोड़ा सा बात हुआ तो panic attack, anxiety, because they now need a perfect world to feel fine here. Because their mind is continuously dependent on something outside. But even they can do it. But first we have to do it.
Yeah, that's what I was going
First
to say.
we have to do it. Just start from 5 minutes.
Parents के लिए.
5 minutes करो कि फ़ोन हटा दो, सब कुछ हटा दो, म्यूजिक भी नहीं चलाना. Which means don't depend on an outer stimulus, just sit. You know why we're not being able to sit like this? Because we have so much clutter here. So the minute we sit, all that clutter of thoughts starts
noise.
working. So we just distract our mind to something else. Because we are not cleaning this clutter. So हमें वो अपना शोर पसंद नहीं आ रहा है. So we just distract, चलो TV on करो, चलो phone उठाओ. So the minute I pick up the phone and I keep doing this, my clutter is off. But that doesn't mean that the pain is over. It's just I distracted my emotional pain by engaging.
Because I have to deal with those issues.
But I'm not dealing. But just by not dealing, they don't get resolved. So what does meditation do? Sit with your issue. Write down your thought. And then write down the correct thought below that. Then repeat it 20 times. Say it and again. Like let's say you said something and I was not happy about it. So I can say I got hurt. I can't live with that hurt. I can't hold on to it. So I will go home and say, this was not right. I should have created this thought. So now I will write down my right thought for you. Then I will repeat it. I say, she's a beautiful soul. That was her perception, her sanskar. That's all. I forgive. I release. I will do this. Now when I do this consciously for a few days, I've released that clutter. And now when I sit with myself, you won't come on my mind.
But when you say her sanskar, her karma, are you putting down that person as a lesser being?
No. Her sanskar means your sanskar and my sanskar is going to be different.
Okay.
Again, like I said...
Different doesn't mean you're judging that person to be lower
all.
or...
Like again I said, if I say I don't like your sari, you should not feel hurt about it.
It doesn't.
No. But if I say I don't like you...
Yeah.
Why? What is the difference between I don't like your sari and I don't like you?
Because I'm not connected with my sari right now.
No, you just understand that why I don't like your sari, because my choice is different from you. So what pink color was very pretty for you, it's strange for me. So I just said I don't like it and you were okay. Some people are not okay with that also.
That also.
I've asked people and they said like, I said, आप सुन लोगे ना जब कोई बोलेगा कि मुझे आपकी ड्रेस पसंद नहीं, क्योंकि बहुत लोग झूठ बोल रहे होते हैं आपसे कि उनको बहुत पसंद है, but actually they're not even liking it.
Yeah.
They will say like, बोलने की क्या ज़रूरत है, चुप रहे. I said, क्यों वो बोल रहे हैं तो क्या फर्क, मतलब that much we don't want to listen to that. Similarly, if somebody says to me that I don't like this about you, so it's because that particular sanskar doesn't match with their sanskar. Suppose today you're very honest in everything that you're doing. Very, very, very honest. Many people around you might not be comfortable with you.
Correct.
But that doesn't mean you are wrong. That doesn't mean they are wrong. That just means that your definition of honesty and their definition of honesty is different, and so they have a different opinion about you. So it's not lesser or more. I have to take care that I don't go low. So I have to heal myself immediately.
Okay.
And even with your children. It means even with family members. We understand they're a soul on a journey. We can't say, मेरे बच्चे ने ऐसा कैसे बोल दिया. मेरा बच्चा नहीं. Soul on a journey comes with past sanskars, come with past karma. Lot of environmental influences right now. इस टाइम बहुत कुछ असर हो रहा है. बोल दिया. Never mind. Powerful soul, beautiful soul. I send you lot of love and blessings. No hurt. No hurt. नहीं तो मेरे बच्चे ने ऐसे कैसे बोल दिया. मैंने उसके लिए इतना किया, उसने मेरे लिए ऐसे बोल दिया. So this is how we go down. And then we radiate that lower energy also to the other person. So to quickly heal yourself, then this place is quite calm and stable.
At what stage did you realize that you have reached that level and you can change another person's way of thinking?
One, I have not yet reached where I have to reach. And second, I cannot change anyone's thinking. We can never change anyone's thinking.
How's that? Of course
no,
you can.
We can only share. We can only share. Like you cannot change your children's thinking. If you have two children, share the same information with both of them. And they both will take it differently.
They'll absorb certain part of it and
exactly, but they
it.
both will absorb differently, interpret it differently, and use it differently. So you didn't change them, you just shared. You just shared. You can't change them. We can change no one. We can only change one person, us. You have power over here only on yourself. You can share with everybody. What they will take from it, what they will do with it, will be their journey. I can share with someone and someone can take it and create a miracle which even I haven't been able to create, which means they will create more change than me.
Has it happened to you?
Why not? I haven't even met everybody who's hurt. So why not? Why not? Because that's going to be that soul's power. So never ever take credit in any field of having changed somebody's life or their destiny or anything. We cannot do it.
See, you are a spiritual teacher, healer. How would you call yourself? What would you?
I am a spiritual practitioner. I am studying.
Okay, people will see you as a healer. People will see you as a teacher, a guru, whatever they want to see you as. People will say that you have changed their lives, or people will come and say they start doing, like, becoming devotees or bhakts of you. How do you prevent yourself getting ahankar with that?
First, I know that I've not done it. The first day I sat on the chair talking like this, I knew nothing. And I was like just pushed onto that chair. I didn't even choose to be on that chair. I didn't choose to be on that chair. And I didn't think I qualified to be on that chair. I was a very young student in this field. And there were so many elders who were there right from the time of 1937. And of course, many sisters after that. It just happened. So it was very, very unwilling that I was there on that chair. And when I sat on that chair and I said, like, I cannot represent this organization. I don't even know what I'll say. And so many people will watch and they will, but it's that big organization. So I was like all quite messed up inside. And so, but it was like, बैठ जाओ, नहीं आया है कोई जो जिसने करना था. So तुम बैठ जाओ अभी. So I just surrendered to the divine. And I said, you know what, I know nothing. And I just surrendered. I didn't know anything. And I just sat. And the sister who's Kanupriya, she was on the other chair and she said, she also had come for the first time. She said, क्या करना है? I said, ऊपर जाके बोल दो इसको कुछ नहीं आता, so let's pack up. She said, I've been paid for the day, so I have to be over here. I said that I don't know what has to happen because मुझे नहीं आता. She just started talking. And I was just talking. And I was learning. I've actually learned so much on this chair. I have not shared what I know. I've actually learned while it was being shared. So anyone comes up to me, this is a one line which very often people change. Oh, you changed our life. And I stopped them then and there and hold their hand. And I said, I was just sharing. You changed your life. So always remember, the power was yours. You changed your life and keep creating many more miracles.
See, there are so many people who are spiritual healers. They have this whole tam jham that comes with them. There'd be gunmen around them and things like that. You have nothing of that sort.
No. Yesterday I was at the airport and somebody comes to me and says, "You're traveling alone." I said, "I always travel alone." Travel alone, stand in the line, take your boarding pass, stand in the security line. Aren't we normal people?
I'm asking you, are you?
Yes.
You see yourself as just like everybody else?
Yes. I travel like that. I live like that. Of course, internally, I'm working on my journey. See, everything has to be inside. We are making it outside. If I make it outside, then I've moved away from spirituality. It's not a role. I'm not playing any role over here. I'm working on my soul progress. For that, I don't need to change how I'm living outside. If I have to change, then it only has to be more humble. My humility needs to go on increasing. So, humility.
Do you feel the same kind of anxiety, hurt, fear when you hear of violent crimes that happen, especially as a woman, when you see it? Does it hurt you all the more?
Again, I said we sit down to meditate and we radiate vibration to the soul if they've left the body and moved forward on the journey, or if a soul has gone through some trauma.
But that is what you do.
Yeah. So
but
that
do you
is in my
feel it?
thinking. In my thinking. No. It's not see, if I create pain, then I will radiate pain. And if I radiate pain, I'm adding pain to the pain in the world. I want to heal the pain of the world, not add pain to the pain of the world. If there's something to do, like let's say somebody is not well, go and do. Take care of them, help them to come out of it. So one is physical seva. Here, not creating pain, creating more purity and power.
We spoke about Garbh Sanskar and all, and one of my team members wants me to ask you this question, so I'm asking you about people not wanting to have the girl child. One, because they lead busy lives, and they say that how to bring up a child, a girl child, we can't do that because mostly the woman has to decide not to have a career, then घर में बैठना पड़ेगा because of the safety and security aspect. Two, वो चली जाएगी, हमें कौन संभालेगा, लड़का जो है हमारे साथ रहेगा, our ticket for our old age to look after us. How do you see all this? I know it sounds very Dakyanusi.
No, it's not. But I think so much has changed now in that context. And being at the Brahma Kumaris, we're always so much seeing sisters in the front in doing everything, in whether it's programs or it's taking care of the centers or it's even traveling outside. Everything. So much is being done by sisters. So, see, spiritually we understand man and woman is the gender of the costume. It's just the gender of the costume.
Okay.
So, I am in a female body right now. I could have been in a male body earlier. So, either soul doesn't have a gender. So, every soul has all the sanskars. But when we enter into a particular costume, social conditioning triggers a different set of sanskars in us. So, we are taught, tum ladki ho, aise karo, tum ladka ho, tum aise karo. Soul has all the sanskars. So, then came a time when the women said like, okay, we are not going to live like this. We are going to, and they had all the sanskars. They were nothing less or more, anything. So, this whole, with spirituality, this even male-female concept doesn't really, it's equal for us.
Okay.
Religion, role, position, gender of the body is not spirituality. For spirituality, everyone's on the soul on the journey, and you empower every soul, whether a boy or a girl, you empower every soul to create the right karma, protect yourself and protect everyone else.
You spoke about sanskar and karma quite a bit. Is there any role for destiny in this? Anything about luck and destiny can also...
Destiny is getting created by our karma sanskar, right?
Okay.
Every karma, that's why I told you, forgiveness. I say I forgive the person, but that person's karma is already entangled with that person now. Ho gaya entangled. Any individual who's done something like that, anything, has already created a karma, and that destiny is already got written now. So,
destiny is interlinked with karma.
Destiny is, it's like I normally explain it with a ball. You throw a ball, that's your karma. The ball comes back to you, is your destiny. It's just as simple as that. You throw the ball, it goes to that wall, it comes back to you, it's your destiny. So if you have anything coming in your destiny which is not the way you want it to be, please remember, I have created this karma. And now let me create the right karma so that I'm able to change the destiny. But nobody else is creating my destiny. I, the soul, have created my destiny.
You continue to be a Brahma Kumari even though you're married. Did your relationship with your parents change after you became a Brahma Kumari? And what role do family relationships mean to Brahma Kumaris? In the sense, do they continue having links with the family that they were born into? Are they lesser connected with them as compared to the sisters they are with?
I still live at home. So I'm not living at the center. I live at home. Because I'm married, I cannot go and live at a center. Simply because I have a responsibility. So all the sisters that you will see at the centers, they're not married. And so they chose to come to the center before they got married, and they will come to the center with written permission from their parents, right? That we are not dependent on our daughter or our son. And it's not only sister, there are brothers also who are surrendered. And we send them for this seva. So they come to the center, they stay at the center. Once in a year, they go back home to family. And at any point of time, if the family needs them for anything, they will go back to the family
And
to
it's
take
not
care.
held against them if they do that?
No, they're sent home.
Okay.
जैसे घर जाओ, आपकी मम्मी पापा की तबीयत ठीक नहीं है. You have to go and there are times even where the parent has come and stayed at the center when they are not well. Because their daughter is at
पर
the
फिर वो
center.
मोह नहीं है.
ये मोह नहीं है. वो दर्द में नहीं ध्यान रखते हैं. See, it is my karma responsibility, and we don't take care of only our parents or our family now. Now to be taking our family structure has only become so big. It's actually when you detach, no, that Vasudev Kutumbukam, what she said, the world one family, you will take care of anybody else also the same way. But you will not create pain because my parent is not well. You will not emotion. See, you will meditate for them, you will radiate. I mean, even to the extent, I'll tell you, if you come to the centers, I can show you people who've lost a family member. Some have lost a child. But if they were already meditating before that and studying, they know it's a soul on a journey. So immediately when that happens, they will immediately take charge of themselves and start sending beautiful vibrations to that soul who's moving forward into a new costume. Because they understand that importance of that. They are not going to say, what will happen to me now? They're going to say, what do I have to give to that soul on the new journey? This is love. Attachment is crying and saying, how will I live after this? And love is, I need to empower you so that when you enter into the womb of the mother, you're going to go in a very peaceful, powerful state for a very beautiful journey ahead. They will still miss their child, but they will not miss with pain.
See, it just reminds me of an incident that happened. I was interviewing Mr. L.K. Advani, and I was talking to him about his past and what happened at partition. He said he was helping Karachi mein the, and he was helping families, move, and he helped people move. So I said, but what about your parents?
Yeah.
Why didn't you go back to Karachi and help in, they came 2 years after he was helping. He said, wo main nahi kar raha tha. So I said, aapko laga nahi that you should move your parents, you were moving other people's parents. So he says, उस वक्त मुझे लगा कि मैं किसी के parents को कर रहा हूँ, मेरे जैसा कोई अब मेरे parents को करेंगे. So I was a little shaken with that.
Why आप COVID में देखो?
हाँ.
While ये history तो we were not part of it, so we can't. It's his. Look at COVID. Why were so many doctors and nurses in the hospital in the middle of COVID? उनको लगा नहीं कि उनके घर पे उनके पेरेंट्स हैं, छोटे बच्चे हैं? नहीं, वो सबका ध्यान नहीं रखेंगे, सेवा नहीं करेंगे. अगर वो सब सेवा नहीं करते तो आज क्या होता? So, it's human instinct, it's human nature. Human nature is very selfless. That is why Devi Devtas are shown like this. We have become like this nowadays. Yeah, Satyug is like this. Which means when soul power increases, the more you will increase your soul power, the more you will become selfless. Which means I don't want from you because I'm already creating what I want. My happiness, my love, I'm creating on a daily basis. So I'm just here to radiate. Then I'll create hurt, I will sit back, change that quickly and come back into my giving. So if I am emotionally weak, I am like, if I work on myself, it's like if you become rich, you can give.
Yeah.
If you don't have wealth, you'll be like this. Similarly for this, if you increase your inner power, automatically you'll give. So if your child is in pain, you'll become a giver. So if your child is in pain, you'll become a giver. So I have seen parents, if their child is unwell, they're still a giver. And if their child leaves the costume, they're still a giver.
Before I go into one section, I have one more question. For those who are terminally ill, they know that their time is limited and they have a lot more to do. How do you tell them to be at peace and to accept the coming, and how to lead the life what they have living there left?
To understand that what is going to happen is going to be only the end of this particular dress. It's like this dress is going to get over in 3 months. Not I. Not I. I am not going to die. My body is going to get over. I'm going to get a new costume. So along with doing what you're doing here, very important is what are you doing here? If you're going to create pain, fear, grief, resentment, then not only your this time in this costume is difficult, even when you go forward, you will create those emotional sanskars you're taking with you. So learning to be the right person here. Not only if I know I am leaving, but if I know that someone else is leaving in my family. You know, when sometimes people are in a state of coma for very long, they're not leaving. Last year, my father was in the ICU, so I happened to be there taking care of him in the ICU for about 1 week. So there were so many other people. And sometimes somebody will say, please come, bless my parent, come there, meditate. And I would go. And with 3 people, this happened. I said, what do you want should happen? And first I asked the doctor, I said, kya? So he said, kuch nahi kar rahe hum, ye leke nahi ja rahe ghar. So matlab wo bilkul nahi tha ilaj matlab. So I just asked that daughter, I said, what do you want? She said, I want him to be at peace. I said, okay, let's create that thought that whatever is right for this soul, to be at peace. She looked at me and she said, what are you trying to say? I said, I'm not saying anything. What did you say just now? What do you want it to be? So we have to prepare them. And then she said, okay, batao kya karna? I said, hold his hand, let's start talking to him. That was unconscious, coma. So let's start talking to him. She said, aap bolte jao. She started crying, but she just kept repeating what I was saying. I said, aap unko bolo कि आप हमारी चिंता मत करना, हम बिल्कुल ठीक हैं, हम एक दूसरे का ध्यान बहुत अच्छे से रखेंगे. She would repeat and she would cry, but she was repeating. I said, फिर आप उनको बोलो कि आपका शरीर ना पूरा ख़राब हो गया, आपका नया शरीर रेडी है, आप हमारे लिए यहाँ मत रुको, हम ध्यान रखेंगे. I said, बस बोलो 2-3 बार, 3 times she said. Within an hour she went and told the doctor, I'm ready to take my father home. The mother came in the evening. They said, we will take. Before they were going to take, the soul left. 3 happened in 1 week over there like that. It's actually so easy. Yeah. But if we say, नहीं जा सकते, कैसे जा सकते हैं, कैसे मुझे छोड़ सकते हैं, that soul just remains trapped in that body for... Yeah. So, the art of dying and the art of letting others leave with dignity is very important. And that is what spirituality teaches us. So when somebody is leaving, we send them with lot of blessings, lot of power, not with... This is detachment. But detachment doesn't mean I don't care. I'm going to miss you always. But I'm not going to be thinking about my pain. So it takes you above yourself. And it says, but you are not in the best costume. So don't stay here for me. You go. Move forward on this journey. There's a lady, she was in the US. She was watching the TV program. She saw the first episode, and the first episode happened to be about this, that when a soul leaves, they can catch all your vibrations even after they enter into the new womb. And she said, बस मुझे ना समझ ही आ गया. Just first episode on death. मुझे तो समझ ही आ गया. And she said, okay, ये मेरे घर में जब भी कभी फिर होगा ना, I will take care that I will not radiate pain and crying. Exact 7 days later, she picks up the phone and she hears that her son, who was landed at the airport in India, was driving to medical college, is no more. I'm telling you the power of a human mind. That's why I learned so much from people. That's why I said people can do more than me, only by just listening to what. Never come to the center, never done anything. 1 episode she watched. She said, जैसे ही सुना, phone रखा. And I said, I will send my child with love and blessings. She found where is a center here in this city. She didn't know anything. She said, found. She called up the sister. She said, please come to my house. I want you to create an environment where everyone who will now, because she was in the US, what happened was in India. She said, I want you to come here and to meditate. I want you to radiate blessings to my child. She actually did it. And after that, you know what she made the purpose of her life? Wherever someone lost a child, she would go there and be with them and teach them this same thing. She's not a Brahma Kumari. You know, so Brahma Kumari is not a, I belong to this organization. It's not like that. It's a wisdom. It's a spiritual knowledge. Take it, create magic with your life, and help others to create magic. She actually did that with so many people. She just left last year. And when I spoke to her, she was in terminal stage of cancer. I said, आप ठीक हैं? She said, अरे of course, मेरे को तो पता है ना, मुझे तो कॉस्ट्यूम छोड़ना है अब सिर्फ. मैं बिल्कुल प्यार से जाऊंगी आराम से. That is what it is. So this does not make us indifferent. This does not. It just makes us more compassionate, actually. You rise above not just your 4 people, but be there for even others.
Yeah.
Always.
Like, just a couple of episodes back was an interview with the Chief Minister of Maharashtra. He lost his 2 children in a swimming accident. And he had, after that, he said he just got away from everybody else, because how do you deal with that kind of trauma? And the whole family was consumed. Family in the sense wife and a 13-year-old other child who was there. These were twin children who died. And so there was a third child. And they were consumed with that till one person came and said that you have to think of beyond your family, that you have to do seva to others and make those people your family. So his way of, it's not as if he doesn't cry now. Every time he talks about his children, he cries. But finding a purpose in life helps, like this lady that you said.
Yeah,
finding.
But only difference is it's not just finding a purpose outside, but healing your emotional pain,
Yes.
not just for yourself. We understand that pain is radiating to that soul who's in the womb of the mother. You know, creating these thoughts, वापस आ जाओ, कैसे मुझे छोड़ के चले गए, that soul has moved forward into a new journey, and we are saying वापस आ जाओ, because we are not thinking about them. हम कहते वो तो चले गए, but वो चले नहीं गए. They've just changed the costume. And everything that you're creating, they are catching. So just visualize, if you had to leave the costume, turn back. What would you want to see in your family? How would you want to see everybody? What would make you comfortable when you're moving out?
And this is there in most religions, right? That when a person passes away, itne din tak you grieve, and uske baad there is one ceremony and say the soul Vaikunt chale gaye, and after this you're not supposed to weep and cry, because it pulls that soul back.
Exactly, that only. But then you have to have that power to be able to do it. No?
I found it very cruel when somebody told me कि आज के बाद नहीं रोना, because it will cause trouble to your brother who's passed away. His soul will not be.
Yes, because आपके सारे रोने के vibrations उधर जा रहे हैं. चलो, leave death, leave out in the morning for work, and something is going on at home. Wouldn't your mind keep going back there? You will call up and say, सब ठीक हो गया, सब ठीक हो गया. जाओ ना आप अपने काम पे. Why are you looking back? But you will. It's natural. You will call up, सब ठीक है. Finally, when you hear सब ठीक है, then you will go आगे आराम से. Here the soul is going into another costume. They want to see कि सब ठीक है. And that when they see that सब ठीक है means we've not forgotten you, but we're taking charge of our life and we want you to go peacefully. When I'm talking to parents about this, they don't want to heal themselves. They say, I don't want to heal myself because I don't want to be happy anymore.
Yeah.
And they don't want to be happy. But when they understand it's not for you, heal yourself so that soul will be happy looking at you. And that soul will be able to, then they are ready to do it for themselves. Because खुद से तो बोले मुझे खुश होना ही नहीं है, मुझे खुश रहना ही नहीं है. Okay, understandable. But आपको दर्द में देखते हुए ऐसे हर जगह रोते हुए हर रोज, उसका क्या हाल होगा?
And those who are suicidal, how do you handle that?
Same thing, na? और भी ज़्यादा. Because there it's not just pain, there is guilt. And sometimes we have both blaming each other. Because blame is not, it's just trying to find a reason why it happened. Not blame that way, but तुमने उसको बोला क्यों इतना, तुम कम बोलती तो नहीं करता, तुम्हें पता क्यों नहीं चला कि वो ठीक नहीं था. You know, that kind of a blame. And plus society, the way people look at them. That
कि
doesn't
in
mean
their child or their brother or their wife.
personal failure.
Ah,
पर्सनल फेलियर लगता है ना, लोगों को लगता है ये समथिंग दे डिडंट डू राइट. सो देयर आर लॉट ऑफ इमोशंस ओवर देयर.
very complicated.
बट फिर भी हीलिंग इज द सेम मेथड.
Healing is to simplify it.
या हीलिंग इज टू अंडरस्टैंड, बिकॉज द बिगेस्ट क्वेश्चन देयर इज व्हाई. क्यों किया मेरे बच्चे ने ऐसा, मेरे से बात क्यों नहीं की, क्यों हुआ ऐसा. इट्स द क्यों विच इज़ नॉट गेटिंग आंसर्ड बेसिकली. बट देयर इज़ नॉट एन आंसर टू दैट क्यों. The answer is maybe it was a depression which was not diagnosed and that's why it's a suicidal thought. But important is आप क्यों बोल के आप ये नहीं सोच रहे कि उसको भी दर्द हो रहा है. Because when a soul leaves the costume, choosing it, when they leave the costume na, they immediately realize they shouldn't have done it. क्योंकि that is it's like a suicidal thought. It overpowered me at that time. But when I leave, I realized कि नहीं, I could have not, I shouldn't have done
Do
this.
you see that as a sin, a mistake? What do you see it as?
Nothing. It's not a sin. Definitely not. Definitely not. Every soul, when we come in this costume, it's our journey and we are going to leave. The method of leaving will be different for different people. But how they leave and how we allow them to go, that's something that we can take care of. So if somebody, that's why we're saying even about this young girl, the young doctor, we can't even visualize, we can't even imagine the amount of pain. But if we create only pain, then we are not helping her to heal her pain.
True.
So if you want to keep on talking about her, you want to remember her, but do it with lot of love, peace and power, because that soul needs, how will that soul move forward till the healing is done? हमें लगता है कि नहीं, this is the method which is right for the child. Talking about what needs to happen there, that is a different thing. But what are we doing to heal her? Because her new journey has to start. And before her new journey starts, we need to help her to release that trauma that she has experienced. Because she will carry forward that experience of that trauma into her new life.
Oh my God, I hope not.
Though anybody, we all carry. I mean, it's not about her. We are all carrying our
The
traumas
baggage.
and our baggage.
Okay.
So we help. That is why when somebody leaves, there's so much prayer.
Yeah.
क्यों होती है इतनी प्रार्थना होती है, प्रेयर होता है, पाठ चलता है मेरे. It's only to heal. It's to help the soul to heal everything before they enter into the next costume. But the path and the prarthana cannot be done only by the priest and we keep crying. The soul who's moved forward is not attached to the priest. They are attached to me.
Yes.
So they will catch my vibrations.
So those chants and things are...
Of course, they make a lot of difference.
Difference.
But they are there to strengthen us, to heal us.
Okay.
But if we only keep it like a ritual, and we don't use that power to heal ourselves, then we are still radiating pain.
True. I get what you say.
So we should not... Missing the person, whoever the family member is, it's fine. But miss with love. Miss with blessings. Not with pain. Not with वापस आ जाओ. Imagine saying to a soul, वापस आ जाओ. You know what happens over there if we keep saying that?
Yeah, but it just comes naturally, no, to say that.
नहीं, वापस आ जाओ नहीं. Change the thought to say, जहाँ जा रहे हो बहुत ब्यूटीफुल डेस्टिनी होगी, आपका बहुत हेल्दी बॉडी होगी, आपको एक बहुत प्यारी फैमिली मिलेगी, आप तो मिरेकल क्रिएट करने जा रहे हो. Just changing every thought. Spirituality is only this, just changing every thought. And when you change your thought, your vibration changes. When your vibration changes, they catch that vibration. COVID, so many people said, मेरी वजह से वो चले गए, मैं कोविड लेकर आया घर पे. Now what will that person catch now over there? What will that soul catch? Oh, my family member was not right to me. Now in the next family, even if everyone's doing right things, they will have this thing that they're not right to me. Because they absorbed that vibration. अंत मति सो गति, जो आपकी अंत की मति है, state of mind now, वो आपकी आगे की गति होगी. So irrespective of whatever happened, do not radiate vibrations of guilt, vibrations of failure, कि हमारी वजह से ऐसा हो गया, हम आपका ध्यान नहीं रख पाए. नहीं, आपको तो पता है ना, हमने आपका बहुत ध्यान रखा, बट सिचुएशंस बस वैसी नहीं थी. They will absorb that. Every thought, you are helping that soul to heal. And that healing is not temporary. It's going to decide and influence their next destiny. Help them to release that karma baggage.
Shivani ji, you're...
But that's
you're
true. But this is what it is. But this is what we study every day, and not just study, we see it in practice.
Because everything that you're saying, I'm thinking, okay, I have to rectify this with me, this with my parent, this with my in-law, this with my children. I'm thinking about...
Yeah, so just You don't have to do anything with everyone. You just have to rectify here. Go higher and your higher energy will radiate to everybody else.
Okay.
Everyone else. अपने आप जाएगी.
I'm going to go to the next section, which my team has prepared us to. What is your view on these? One is about live-in relationships. There are many people who don't want to commit these days, many couples who don't want to commit to, say, a marriage and prefer a live-in relationship because उसमें financial घपले नहीं होते. अगर आप you can't get along with somebody, you move on. Whereas if it's a marriage, then you're stuck with, if you want to break up, you want to move your separate ways. There's divorce, there's children, there's legal issues, all kinds of problems. Are live-in relationships a fact that the country has to embrace now?
Individual's choice, not country has to embrace.
It's illegal in many states.
जो हमारी मर्यादाएं हैं, they were for our safety. Emotional safety also, not just physical safety. Emotional safety. Those maryadas are healthy. Family unit is healthy. See, when we were in a joint family, the ability to adjust, the ability to bend, the ability to forgive, the ability to let go, the ability to share, that was making us mentally and emotionally stronger. Then we went from 10 to 5 to 4 to 2, now 1. No, I don't need anybody. I'm with my laptop, my phone and my dog. So you think that's healthy? No. That person, that soul never has to bend, never adjust, never adapt. That's where the problems are going to start. Okay. So family unit is very, very healthy.
Okay.
Very healthy.
With its conflicts also is a better thing than living individually.
Work on yourself so that you create harmony. Even if you're alone, you'll have a lot of conflicts. Conflicts are not in the relationship. Conflicts are in my mind.
In your mind.
If I change the way I am thinking, I will heal my relationship. Even if I'm living alone, I can be unhappy. I can be unhappy because it's about who I am here. So if you want to be alone, choose to be alone. But then be happy here. Learn to create
commitment phobia, because it's something which is happening more and more. Young people don't want to commit to
so
many
that
things.
Also is a sign of lesser emotional strength. Na?
That is what is leading to these.
So that's also a sign. Na? Commitment nahi, loyalty nahi, trust nahi. So this is all depleting emotional health. Na?
Yes. The next one, about substance abuse, which we briefly talked about when you spoke about alcoholism and stuff. But it is increasingly there, especially people, say like in my profession, who have late working hours, cannot sleep on time, cannot wake up on time. Sleep is a major issue. So take something to sleep and then take something to wake up. This is something which is happening, and it need not necessarily be a drug. It could be over-the-counter medicine. You know, it's so easily available. Yeah. So how do you...
But you're not going to experience natural deep sleep.
Yeah.
So then is that healthy? So long-term result will never be healthy. So while I'm doing that karma, I need to tell myself, I'm doing this karma, consequence will come to me. And I should know why that consequence came, because I created that karma. So choose your karma carefully.
Yes.
Whether it is due to professional, what we are saying, not everybody in your field will do the same thing.
No,
again, so never generalize it professionally.
No, what I mean to say is that...
No, but it is there everywhere. And yet in every profession, there are a lot of people who are not indulging in any of those things.
It's a lot even in school level, I believe.
Exactly. So it's not professional. It is just, again, content plays a very important role. Family culture is playing a very important role. You and me grew up in a house where we could see the mother telling the father, nahi drink karna chahiye, nahi smoke karna chahiye. Hamare ghar mein jhagda isi topic ke upar hota hoga. Which means at least we were learning that this is wrong. As a child, we grew up learning that this is wrong. And then the son, us time daughters ka to concept nahi tha, but when the son would start experimenting with it, the son would hide it. छुपाता था, again teaching me that this is wrong, इसीलिए छुपा रहा है. सही. Today we said, नहीं, आप हमारे साथ बैठ के पीना. So your first drink you will have with me.
It's socially acceptable.
I'm endorsing it as a parent.
Yeah.
And then very soon the mother said, why only men? So then the daughter will also have it with you. So your karma. Tomorrow consequence will come. So जो चीज़ healthy नहीं है, Not physically, not emotionally, not vibrationally. Why are we endorsing it like this? And the repercussion that is going to have on the next generation when, see, this whole equality thing that we talk about, physically, soul-wise, all equal. But a woman costume, if she's going to become a mother tomorrow, she can't say, oh, I am the same as my husband or I'm the same as my fiancé and I can drink. No, you can't, because he's not going to bear the child. तो आपकी एक moral karma responsibility है. So ऐसे नहीं कर सकते. So it is our responsibility as a society to stand up for what is the right in your own life and to make that more normal and natural and common. I was in a group of program where it was all women. The person before me was endorsing drinking. And she's saying, where is your glass? Where is your glass? ऐसे वाली बात हो रही थी. And I said, like, ओचो मेरे को इनके बात बोलना है. I said, like, okay. And I saw okay, it was being like, if you don't have the glass, then that means.
Yeah.
And then I just obviously went and just said the opposite completely. And I said, like, today you're saying this, tomorrow your young daughters are going to say this, and now you be careful of what will happen to your grandchildren. Because आप दादी बन के तो यहाँ होंगे ही देखने के लिए अपने grandchildren को. So endorsing it. After that, a few women came to me and they said, we felt so good today only because at least we felt we were on the right. You know, when majority shifts on the other side now,
Yeah.
so even the right starts feeling that there is something wrong.
Yes, because I've always been a non-smoker and non-drinker, and I was always the party pooper in the sense that, oh, and then they would say, "Ye madrasi hai, isliye ye nahi karte." You know, I was always put down on this, but now everybody has turned around and said,
So just stand for your right. The one power which everybody needs in Kalyug is stand for the right even if you're alone.
Yeah, even if
Even in
you're-
school it's happening now.
Which
like
it
this.
brings me back to the Kangana episode where basically what she said was about the farmers' protest, and it was her view. It's the same thing. Now she's being castigated because it probably is the right view, but it was at the wrong time. The same thing which I'm trying to say is that it's very lonely to be taking the right view.
But it's powerful. In school nowadays we see, देखो हमारे टाइम पे भी कुछ कुछ बच्चे ऐसे गलत चीज़ें करते थे, स्मोकिंग ड्रिंक, बट दे वर वेरी स्मॉल इन नंबर. तो हमें प्रॉब्लम नहीं हो रही थी, हम सब सही काम कर रहे हैं वो कुछ. Today it changed.
Yeah.
Became the other, at least in cities where we are, it changed. So now if a child doesn't experiment with these substances, if a child doesn't have a social media handle,
Yeah.
because the parents said, no, we're not giving it to you, the child is made to feel.
Yes.
So now that one sanskar which every parent needs to inculcate in themselves and thereby radiate it to their children, the power to stand on the right even if you're the only one. Otherwise आप कलयुग में नहीं टिक पाएंगे. Either आप टूट जाएंगे या आप फिर वैसे बन जाएंगे.
Yeah.
बट आपको दोनों नहीं करना है. टूटना भी नहीं है और वैसे बनना. So now spirit, now power. That means you have to energize the soul to be able. Now when people come to the center and they find so many people, oh acha, everybody's living in that kind of a lifestyle. They become very comfortable, energized. They're ready to go back to their school, their college or their parties. They will still go to parties. ऐसा नहीं है पार्टी नहीं जाना है, पार्टी जाना है. बट सिर्फ जो सही है वो करना है.
वो करना है. Correct.
बस.
Next one, social media, which we discussed about, the negativity and the harmful effect of social media. Is there any hope? Like, can you still consume social media and have to filter out the good content? I mean, filter in the good content and filter out the bad content. Is it possible?
Naturally, na? It's like this is a table and you've kept 20 things here for me to eat. So all 20 things are there. I have to go and choose what's healthy for me. So I will say, मैं sweet नहीं खाती, मैं fried नहीं खाती, मैं ये नहीं खाती, and I will pick up the dry fruit. Simple. So we can't just keep blaming social media. We will have to just pick up what is healthy. But we have to change our choices. Na? Even content creators will change content if consumers
Yes.
start choosing right. Because content creator ne to wohi create karna which is going to be consumed by more people. So karma responsibility of the consumer is very high. If we as a consumer again are consuming this lust, violence, ego, all this comparison, pulling down people, then we are responsible for what the world is becoming. So when we are doing this, it's not time pass. You're creating your destiny and you're creating the destiny of the world just by choosing what you are consuming.
Consuming. Point. Absolutely. The next one, declutter joy of missing out. Okay, so there's a lot of people who feel now, which you were saying, that our lives are too cluttered, too much of social media, too much of this feeling left out. अगर ये नहीं किया, ये picture नहीं देखी तो you are left out. ये कपड़े नहीं पहने या ये यहाँ इस destination पे नहीं गए. That's another one. Because of social media, you look at people going to various places, having holidays. Then you have this, oh my God, I haven't even been to 5 of these 15 best holiday destinations. So to get out of that is to declutter your mind, get out of Facebook, get out of Instagram for some time, declutter your mind. And then you don't, that is the saying of the joy of missing out. Pehle tha that the fear of missing out.
Yeah.
Now it is the joy of missing out. What do you have to think
But
about
after
this?
that, either you're going to disconnect from all the platforms. Don't disconnect from the platforms only because you are not doing what others are doing and what people will. Validation is a big depleter. Public validation. Everybody should approve of me. And this will not work now. If you continue doing this, the world is going to do a lot of things. And if you're going to try and do everything that the world is going to do, you will not be who you were. You will not be who you were. So, social media is a very different world. I meet couples who are coming to talk about divorce. And you see their page the next day. Other people will envy them. And like I've actually met somebody, it's like, वो देखो कितने खुश है, सर अभी मैं आपको क्या बताऊँ, अभी आप क्या कर रहे हो? So it's not that it's just that we're just looking at a created life of somebody, not even the truth of someone's life.
Huh.
We are creating a projection of what they have chosen to project about themselves. And then we are comparing it with our real life. Their projected life, I'm comparing with my real life. And then I'm feeling unhappy. So you can't, you want to declutter, fine. You want to disconnect from social media, either you disconnect forever. Or you want to be there, but you don't have to compare yourself with anybody else. And if you're comparing, first check that the karma that they are creating, is it energizing them? Is it making them healthier? Then inspire, learn and move forward. If not, you don't need to follow the same path.
Choose what,
Healthy.
what
Just
healthy.
choose the healthy option. Healthy option.
Okay. The next one is on divorce. The impact it has on children. Is it right for parents to stay on, try to make it work, even if there is violence in the relationship? Or is it better to take the option of moving out? It's a healthier option even for children.
If there is violence, yes. Apart from that, majority things can be healed. But today we find people moving out बहुत easily. The ability to want to work on it. Because it's an easier option out. See, when we were growing
Is it an
up,
easier option to work?
even nowadays it's very easy to say, we are separating. Because social stigma is not there. A lot of social acceptance is there for divorce. When we were growing up also there was divorce, but there was so much stigma attached with it. People would not even tell somebody and say, uski dusri beti ki shaadi nahi hogi. Again, so we knew that this was not right. Society said this is not right. Still people separated, but in very serious situations, only then. But when society calls it normal, and when society says it's okay, move out, why are you adjusting with this person? Then it starts happening very often. Now it's becoming, at least in these cities where we are living, 6 months, 1 year. 6 months, 1 year, it takes to even get to know the other person. You've already given up.
But the idea is कि मैं 6 साल इसको tolerate करूँ, इसके नखरे सहूँ, इसकी wrongdoing सहूँ. Suppose the person is into crime.
वैसा नहीं, वो नहीं. I'm talking about sanskar adjustment. If it's violence, if it's abuse, even then actually you should first try and see whether that person can get healed. Because anyone who's indulging in violence is an emotionally very troubled soul. Has gone through a past, has gone through a childhood trauma, has gone through something very turbulent. So that's why that person is very possessive, very overpowering, very dominating. So of course we should never take violence and abuse. But उसमें भी एक बार try कर लो उनकी healing करवाने के लिए. And maybe they will just come out of it.
I just saw a video the other day of Javed Akhtar, and he said that marriage में equality जो demand करते हैं ना, the idea of equality in today's generation is मैंने ये किया तो मैं भी ये करूँगी, तुमने वो किया तो मैं भी ये करूँगी, अगर you bring this much money and you want this much right, then I bring this much money, I have. So that equality is different from my generation of equality is what he said. He said मेरे में कुछ कमियां है वो शबाना पूरी करती है, जो शबाना में कमियां है मैं पूरा करता हूँ, and that is how our marriage has worked.
Right.
So the idea of equality, now the next generation didn't probably teach that to their daughters or their sons of what equality in a marriage meant. Do you think that we have brought up our children wrong, or have we been brought up wrong? What is it?
Last 2 decades or so, we are so busy on our outer progress, and suddenly we had so much technology around. So even after being home, we were not at home, or we are not at home. So we prioritized work, business, profession, everything revolved around that. So certain things got neglected. We made stress a normal part of our life. And so we were coming home stressed every evening. So we are radiating that lower vibrational energy at home to our children. So we have brought up, most cases, we have brought up our children emotionally weaker.
Okay.
In a world saying stress is normal, fear is normal, anger is normal, we are saying disease is normal to them. And now 2 children like this got married. And another thing, again, the very wealthy families, like I told you, different problems. Children don't listen too much to a no because उनको सब कुछ मिल जाता है आसानी से. So they haven't been brought up listening to a no. उनको पूछते हैं आप क्या खाओगे? Because they don't have to cook ना. Somebody else is going to cook. आप क्या खाओगे? हमें तो नहीं किसी ने पूछा था आप क्या खाओगे, मतलब ये बना था खा लो.
हाँ.
So that was a no for me as a child. But मुझे नहीं खाना ये, खा लो यही बना है. That was a no. I was learning to listen to a no. I was learning to adapt to something which I didn't like, which was not my way. Today we're asking them what will you eat? We're taking them to a mall and say which brand you want to wear, what do you want to choose. We're asking them, do you want to come with me to this family function? The child says, I don't want to go. Acha, okay, don't go. Now, so this is fragile parenting, where everything is according to the child. The child is choosing their life. हमारे लिए ऐसे नहीं था, वहाँ जाना है, तैयार हो जाना टाइम पे और यही पहनना है. So we thought as parents, my parents were very strict. I don't want to be like this with my child. And we in fact even went and told the child, you know what, I'm your friend.
हाँ.
I normally every program ask people, how many of your friends of your children? We are friends.
Not me.
Yeah. So one day I was sitting like this with a friend and her daughter walked in. It was around 11:30, 12 or something. She was 10th standard. And she looked at her and she said, don't you think you're a little late? इतने प्यार से बोला, पता है, ऐसे नहीं इतना डर डर के बोल रही है अपने बेटी से. Don't you think, हमारे मम्मी बोलते क्या हुआ इतनी लेट क्यों आई? No, don't you think you are a little late? And she looked back at her and said, Mom, remember we are friends. Don't behave like a mother. That's it. So why do we have to be friends? They have so many friends. Now that they have strangers as friends, they have only one parent. That one parent can say, I accept, you can come and share with me everything. You know, we could not come and go and share with our parents. वो मर्यादा की एक लकीर थी. हम वैसी वाली बातें नहीं कर पाते थे. Come and share. Come and tell me everything that's happening in your life. You're into a relationship, come and tell me. But I'm still a parent. And a parent means who will be able to tell you based on my age and experience or what is right, and you will listen to me.
But
Then they would have bent. They had to listen to no's. Now you get 2 people who've not listened to no's, who've had everything their way. And now you say, now you live. At least one of them should have been brought up with no's, then they would have bent. So it's only that. And now, क्या करेंगे आप? Then they're not able to listen to no's and adjust because they didn't do it. And it's not only about after getting married. If any of these children suddenly don't have something their way, a failure, academic failure, not where I wanted to be, it becomes a very big thing for them. इसीलिए ये लोग जल्दी जल्दी डिप्रेस्ड हो रहे हैं.
Even in schooling, you know, like in Western society and all, जैसे हमारे में अगर हमने dictation में हमको like 3 out of 10 मिला तो teacher very poor.
Yes.
Right? Or cross out an essay कि तुमने सारा गलत लिखा because you didn't begin with an introduction, a para. So cross out. Now, I did the same thing with my children when they're growing. Cross out. The new way of teachers are not supposed to cross out an essay or write these kind of sad face or very poor, wrong. ये सब नहीं लिखना है. This is American system which has come into our education system.
That's all.
Is it good, bad?
Check the result. Has it made your children emotionally stronger? No, it hasn't. I was in a school and I was walking with the principal going to the auditorium. I was thinking of my school, every time we met a teacher, good morning, ma'am, good morning, ma'am. Even if I meet the same teacher 5 times, we'll like, good morning. I used to love doing it. ऐसे नहीं कि And I was walking with the principal of the school. And children are just walking past, chingam खा रहे हैं, कोई कुछ कर रहा है. And I was like, and one of the schools of the city. किसी के बाल ऐसे लटक रहे हैं. हमारी तो पोनीटेल इतनी होनी चाहिए, नहीं तो ये मतलब वो कुछ वही. And I just looked at her and I said, ये आपको विश नहीं कर रहे हैं. For me it was suddenly very strange. I said, ये आपको विश नहीं कर रहे हैं. She said, respect cannot be demanded. If they feel like respecting, they will. I said, tomorrow when this girl gets married, that means she won't wish her mother-in-law. Because she said, I don't respect her, why should I wish her?
Yeah.
So that is apne culture, Sanskriti.
Yeah. Which is what our children, when they go abroad to study, is the first thing they strike is हमको उठ के good morning नहीं बोलना पड़ता. There are other children जो desk के ऊपर पैर रख के class में they are attending. Some of them are eating while the lectures are going on. These are the first things that our children, when they study abroad, face. The difference in culture. The next one is on news debates. Again, we come to the content. Do you think that... I know that parents, aging people are told that रात को debate देख के मत खाना खाओ. Debate देख के उसके बाद मत सोना. Because debates are usually 7 to 10 p.m. are the debates.
It's not just debate. Any content which is stimulating the mind too much, don't consume it while eating. Don't consume before going to sleep. Because when you go to sleep, your conscious mind silences, your subconscious mind opens, and everything you consumed in the last hour before going to sleep goes down into your subconscious. What is happening with children? Why so many anxiety and panic attacks? Padvar liya, pura din padhe, they've worked hard. Now when they get into bed, it's their time with their phone. So they will first chat with friends before going to sleep, and then they will consume these crime shows, these thrillers, and then they go to sleep. Anxiety, hone aur kya hoga? It's the timing also. One, it's not healthy content. But if you... So 2 times subconscious mind is active. First time when we wake up in the morning and when we are going to go to sleep. So when you go to sleep, at least 2 hours before you should disconnect from work communication. Because in the night also, your body is sleeping, mind is still doing something. So don't work communication 2 hours pehle band honi chahiye, and 1 hour pehle any other content. Which is stimulating. If you want to consume, it has to be very soothing. Content which you want to become, you consume in the night before going to sleep. Or in the morning when you wake up. That's why mornings always began with puja, path, satsang, prayer, meditation, because it's the subconscious mind which is going to take it. But before going to sleep, same thing.
Same. Okay. And then we have sex education. How important is it, and at what stage should it be inculcated? At school, at home, where?
Both the places.
Both
the places, because it all depends how... Every parent is not comfortable explaining it, but every teacher is trained for it. So, why should we say only home? Why not at school also? Because there are other children around you, and it just becomes more easier in a school environment where it's being taught to you by a teacher. A parent sometimes is not comfortable. Every parent is not. Some parents are able to do it very easily, some are not. So why not both
the ones
the
who say friend hai, I guess they are
otherwise also. It's just that how comfortable the parent is about talking. So let's take care at both the places so that the child is well equipped
and it's necessary
understood.
And should be done at what age, do you think?
See, right now, though, what all is happening in schools is completely different. I don't think they need education. Again, I'm talking only about these cities where I'm hearing all this about. They've already experimented with so many things in school.
It needs to be done at town and village level also, because I was hearing the other day a former journalist who was saying that literally going in school, in buses, not school buses, but in buses, in public transportation used to be a horror situation, because there were people who came from rural areas and from towns who had never interacted with women other than their mothers and sisters. गांव में आप किसी और पराई औरत के साथ आप बात नहीं कर सकते थे, लड़की के साथ बात नहीं कर सकते थे. So suddenly they are exposed in cities when they come, and their first exposure is in public transport. So there was that sexual energy which got transmitted. And they didn't know what the
Right.
cues are
Yes, of
for
course.
no. So they saw somebody and they thought they could express themselves sexually. So it was a minefield to go through. So
Absolutely.
yes, sex education should be part of the curriculum in towns and villages as much as in cities.
Just to be understood properly and to not get exploited. More important is that.
Yeah.
But also should be taught that don't consume content.
Huh. Okay.
That's very important
Huh.
for children.
Yes.
Very important.
Very important.
We are finishing their purity at a very young age. And whatever content they will consume, then they will start experimenting. So that understanding.
Which is happening in the sense of because of the content, because of the food, because of the atmosphere, puberty, everything is setting in like at 10,
because
11.
it's going to happen from here, na.
Yeah.
It's the mind over body. It's the mind over matter. What I didn't know till the age of 13, 14, they will know at the age of...
Yeah.
The other day I was with a school principal and she says 3rd standard 2 children were brought to her who were caught trying to do something. And she said, I didn't know मैं क्या बोलूँ इनको अभी 3rd standard के बच्चों को मैं क्या बोलूँ अभी, what do I say to them now? So she just asked them, how did this thought come to you? You know, it's so difficult to talk to the 3rd standard child. She said, how did this thought come to you? So one child said it was going on our TV. So on वो स्मार्ट टीवी है ना आजकल, आप ऑन करो, पहले का कुछ ऑन किया हुआ पड़ा हुआ है. Lot of responsibility. There's lots happening which we don't even know.
Okay.
That's why. So education, yes, but also a lot along with that education.
With
Now
that.
it's not what we were talking 20 years back or 10 years back. Now it's also education of how, what not to
And
do, what age, what everything.
yeah.
That education is needed now.
And like the principal said, that means even the teachers and all should know how to, should be trained on how to deal with situations like these. Right.
Because content, no, even a child has a phone now.
Huh.
When you and me were in school, even a movie used to be an adult movie. You can't go to the
You
theatre.
can't, yeah, parental
But
guidance,
abhi,
yeah.
Abhi क्या
Everything is
करेंगे आप?
available.
The child picks up the phone of the parent and keeps doing like this.
Yeah.
So where is the censor board over there?
Yeah, correct.
कुछ भी नहीं है. So we don't even know at what age they start seeing all this.
Shivani ji, love. In love, I mean, it's a very expansive word. But in if a daughter or if a son comes and says that I'm in love and I need your guidance, how is a parent supposed to handle it? Plus, a young person now is conflicted when he meets or she meets somebody. Is this love? Is it lust? Is it because itna interaction nahi hai, zyada interaction is on the phone. Yeah. So to seek love, to find love is all getting harder.
Spirituality teaches us not to seek love, not to find love, go into the relationship to give love.
Okay.
We don't go into a relationship to get love. You go into a relationship to give love. Aise.
That's a little hard.
No, that's how it's supposed to be. You're going into the relationship to give love, to give respect. Nowadays, जितने हमारे पास divorce के लिए सोच रहे हैं, बोल रहे हैं, आ रहे हैं. Earlier, there used to be an issue. मतलब there's an issue, and when there's an issue, you can talk about it, and there'll be a solution. Now they say, just I don't want to live with this person, but why you don't want to live with it? I'm not getting anything from them. So which means I went to get.
Yes.
And I'm not getting. So why should I live? So we don't have to go to get. We have to go to give. If even one out of the two is a giver, the relationship will heal. But if both, see, it's like here, both. You will go out on the road in the evening now. There'll be somebody who will knock on your window asking for money. One person is in this direction. You will open the window and you will be in this direction. But if both were in this direction, what will happen? So in every house, if everyone is like this, then there's only conflict. If one has to be a giver, you'll make the other person also a giver because you'll strengthen them.
And does the woman always have to be the giver?
No, it's not about man, woman. It's about a soul. Which soul is ready to do this? Sometimes the children are giving to their parents. Parents are depleted. Children are more empowered.
You meet
Yes, why not? Because their souls on a from a past journey, they've got those sanskars with them. We have children who bring their parents to the meditation center.
Okay.
It's a soul's journey. It's not about the age of the body. The souls who've come with that past sanskar, they love to meditate, those children. They will tell their parents, झगड़ा नहीं करना होता, थोड़ा धीरे बोलो, कितना जोर से बोलते हो? Children. It's any soul can play that part. So go into the relationship to give. Relationships are created here. Conflict is here, not here. If one soul changes that way of thinking, that relationship will start healing. So go into the relationship to give love.
To give. Okay. Stress, there are very many kinds of stress. We've just spoken about a whole bunch of them. Is there something called cumulative stress? And is that cumulative stress something that can be positive in the sense that it can have positive, you can have positive action with a whole lot of stress, or is stress always depleting?
Stress in physics was given by a formula. Pressure divided by resilience. There's a whole lot of pressure, not whole lot of stress. There's pressure. So I can have exam pressure, I can have performance pressure, I can have relationship, I can have travel pressure. There's so many pressures today. Stress is not pressure. Stress is pressure divided by my resilience, which means my coping mechanism to that.
Elasticity and
Work on your resilience and the word stress will disappear from your life. We've built up this was our biggest mistake. Stress is normal. Stress is normal. I am stressed, you are stressed, we are all stressed. If somebody says I'm not stressed, I say, why you're not doing anything in life? That's why you're not stressed. So we took it in a very different way. We coined stress as it's a status symbol. मैं तो बहुत stressed हूँ, मतलब I'm doing something very big इसलिए मैं बहुत stressed हूँ. नहीं, stress is showing that you have low resilience power. You can have pressures, you can be engaged in a lot of activity, but you can be easy. So stress is not positive ever. It's an energy depleter. It's a depleter. Exam stress. You know everything, you're stressed, you make a mistake. Decision making will get affected. Reactions will get affected. Harmony in relationships will get affected. Physical health will get affected. So we as a generation grew up saying I'm stressed. Today's children are saying I'm depressed. They are not saying I'm stressed. They don't have depression. But they've changed the word. They're not saying I'm stressed. They're saying I'm depressed. And now they'll keep saying this depressed, and then create it. So never have a lower energy word as I am.
Okay.
It's an affirmation, no? Because
Yes.
so I am should never be a lower energy word. A lower energy vibe. Stress is a lower energy. You feel fatigued, you feel troubled, you feel agitated, you feel confused. I'm happy, I'm powerful, I'm peaceful, I'm loveful,
And then
I'm
you'll
compassionate.
work towards that.
You will work on the pressure. If you come ever to the Brahma Kumaris Center or you come to the headquarters, if 1,500 people living together under one roof, 24/7, your 4 people are not able to live in one house. They're coming from different families. There's so much to adjust with each other. But every morning energizing yourself, no single day without activity, without programs, without conferences, no concept of Sunday, no concept of festivals. Every day there is seva. But there's no word stress. That's happy life. What's the point of saying I'm very successful, I'm being stressed, and then depressed, and then disease?
Yeah.
यहाँ stress होगा तो यहाँ disease आएगी.
Yeah.
यहाँ stress होगा तो conflict आएगा. So what good is that word stress creating? Nothing.
Therapist, we talked about I am depressed wala jo term use hota hai. More and more the stigma associated with therapist is becoming lesser, at least in cities.
Yes.
When you suggest to somebody that therapist dekhna hai, the reaction more often than not used to be pagal thodi na hai. We are not mad. We don't दवाई ले लो या फिर कुछ और कर लो. But now the stigma associated with therapy is going. Is that good, bad? What do you say?
It's very good.
Very good.
But it doesn't mean that we say depression is normal. So it's like going to a doctor is very good, but prevention of disease should be the priority.
Correct.
Abhi opposite ho gaya. It's becoming like status symbol. I'm seeing a therapist in the young bachas. You don't know who's your psychologist. So don't make it that way. We need a therapist, we definitely have to go. But we should take care of ourselves that we may never have to go.
There's also this feeling that many children have that their parent, earlier generation would go to a parent or a dadi or a nani or a bua or a masi, somebody, if you had an issue, you didn't you felt your parent couldn't cope with it
Yeah.
or deal with it, you went to a grandparent.
Right.
When that is not there and that confidence is not there, it's not as if today's children don't have a grandparent or a parent. They probably think that they're not equipped to handle the complicated situation they are in. And hence the need for a therapist is what children say.
If I'm in pain, emotional pain, and if I come and just sit next to you and you're my parent, I may not need advice. Most of the time we don't need advice. I know what I have to do, but I don't have the strength. I don't have the power to face this situation. So I just need someone who's at a higher energy. But if my parent is also,
Yeah.
then I don't want to sit next to them when I'm in pain. And then I'll say, please leave me alone. Go out. I want to be alone. But why do you want to be alone? I want to sit with you, but I don't want to sit with you. I don't want. Just leave me alone. Why do they want to be left alone? Because the parent is also in pain. That's why I said detachment. When your child is going through a low phase, if you are at a higher energy, the child will want to come and sit next to you. They don't need any counseling. They will just come and they'll say, Mama, मेरे को 5 मिनट आपके पास बैठना है. So then you will say, आपको कुछ बात करनी है? नहीं, मुझे कुछ बात नहीं करनी. बस वो 5 मिनट बैठ जाएंगे, आपकी बैटरी से उनकी बैटरी चार्ज हो जाएगी, and then they will go and solve their problem.
Okay, that's a positive spin
Yeah.
on that.
So let's be that powerhouse of the family. So when one family member works on themselves, meditates daily, raises their vibration, they become the powerhouse of the family.
Okay. For the country, what would you say right now? Are we at that stage where when people say that हम विश्व मित्र हैं, विश्व गुरु हैं, विश्व बंधु हैं, do you feel that India is at that position where we are a friend in need?
India is going to become Swarnim Bharat. Is certain. Because Bharat ही स्वर्णिम भारत था, भारत ही स्वर्णिम भारत बनेगा. Bharat is only the ancient civilization. The majority others are modern civilizations. Akhand Bharat, not itna Bharat. Akhand Bharat स्वर्णिम भारत था. And Akhand Bharat ही फिर से स्वर्णिम भारत बनेगा, and we are already heading towards it. But the only thing is, along with outer, we all need to work. So go back to holding on to the culture, the Sanskar, the Sanskriti of the Desh. Bharat. Learn from others, but hold on to your own maryadas, sanskars and Sanskriti, because that's what the world needs right now. So use it, experience it, share it with the world.
What gives you the confidence that Bharat Swarnim Bharat ban sakta hai?
That is what we learnt. That is what Baba got the Sakshatkar. And Bharat ही स्वर्णिम भारत था. It is a cycle. इसी देश में वो संस्कार और वो संस्कृति है, देवताई संस्कार और संस्कृति. आज भी है. आज भी है. It's just that we need to work on it. इसीलिए उस दिन प्रधानमंत्री जी ने कहा राम राजा, everybody was so touched. But only they didn't think over it कि फिर वो करना कैसे है. जैसे राम राज्य आएगा. So everybody thought राम राज्य आएगा. आएगा but कैसे? वो राम राज्य हमें लाना है. आना तो है ही, बट वो आता कैसे? इट्स लाइक मैं बोलूँ आपके घर में सुख आएगा, कैसे आएगा? आप कुछ करेंगे ना उसके लिए, देन देयर विल बी लॉट ऑफ सुख एंड हैप्पीनेस इन योर हाउस. तो स्वर्णिम भारत.
एंड व्हेन यू सेइंग एक अखंड भारत था, दैट्स व्हेन लेखराज जी had that.
The continent with all these natural calamities and everything that will happen, those plates shifting, the continent then gets divided. पहले वो एक बड़ा continent था. So maybe part of Southeast Asia, maybe part of all this. See, there's so many other countries where the concept of deities, gods and goddesses, whether it's Egypt, whether it's, so that is all Akhand Bharat. It is that ancient civilization. वो अखंड भारत था.
हाँ.
तो अब वो फिर बनेगा अखंड भारत.
In what way are you saying वो अखंड भारत? In the sense कि अब वो बनेगा तो एक तार तो जुड़ेगा ना सबके साथ?
जुड़ेगा ही ना. लेकिन तार सिर्फ सबके साथ बाहर नहीं. दैट इज व्हाट वी हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड. वो अखंड बाहर नहीं, पहले यहाँ बनाना है भारत.
So you're not talking about political boundaries being redrawn of countries.
They will automatically change. Things will change because when all these climate change upheaval happens, land masses will shift. Huge land masses will go underwater. Plates will shift. Land masses will. So the whole continent structure only changes.
If that is to happen, if I was to go back to that, अगर ये सब होने वाला है, then things shouldn't matter to us, ना? Things will disappear.
Right. Things को use करो, but They're only something to use. Priority should be sanskar and karma. And that's not just for the future, that's also for the
For the
present.
present.
We're not doing it for the future, present. Things को use करो. ये लैपटॉप है, आपके पास आईपैड है, इसको यूज़ करो. बट यू हैव टू नो उसमें से क्या देखना है, क्या नहीं देखना. माई संस्कार एंड कर्म इज गेटिंग अफेक्टेड.
When is this Swarnim Bharat going to happen? Your lifetime, my lifetime?
आपको क्या लग रहा है सब देख के जो हो रहा है आज का?
नहीं पता, आप बताओ.
आपको देख नहीं रहा सारा कुछ जो हो रहा है इस टाइम. कितना कुछ हो रहा है.
You really believe in that apocalypse theory, right?
Transformation, yeah.
You do.
Yes. Everybody knows. It's all in all our shastras. कि कलयुग खत्म होगा और सत्युग आएगा. It's in every scripture. It's in every religion.
हाँ.
It's in religion. It's in Christianity. It's in Islam. जन्नत आएगी फिर से. It's there in Christ. It's there in Christianity. कि 3000 years after Christ. 2000 years before Christ स्वर्णिम भारत था. 3000 years after Christ again होगा.
Okay. But
It's
we meet
there.
before that.
Paradise. That's why we call it paradise. We call it Jannat. We call it heaven. We call it Swarg. We call it Satyug. It just means a way of living. Within our 30 years, how much has changed in our sanskars?
Yeah.
Go to our grandparents. See how much has changed. The family unit, even the way people were with each other, everything was. If in 150 years of our lifetime there was so much change, so in a few thousand years, how much change would have been there? बस वो change होना है. That's
Okay.
तो वो तो होना ही है. But सिर्फ important है हम क्या कर रहे हैं उसके लिए.
Yes, right action.
हमें करना है. And if you see, that's why suddenly there is a lot of awareness, a lot of people want to do healing, a lot of people want to do meditation. But it's all started, that energy. It was not there 20 years back. When I came first time to the center, all my friends were like, where are you going? They will say, कोई tragedy हुई थी तुम्हारी life में, तुम वहाँ क्यों जा रही हो? और मैं कहा नहीं, सब ठीक ठाक है. So it was a big stigma. You're going to a meditation center. Today it's like, I meditate is cool. So much is shifting. It is, because it is going to shift. It's the timing that is there. Then you see the positioning of Bharat is changing in the world. It's the timing. It is the timing. Then the work towards Swarajya, the work towards Ram Rajya. It's the timing. It has to happen. ये होना ही है.
On that note, thank you so much, Shivani ji, that you came here, and hopefully our viewers and listeners, like me, feel very much enlightened
So much.
being in your company. Thank you so much.
Om
Thank you.
Shanti. Shukriya.
Thank you for watching or listening to this edition of the ANR podcast with Smita Prakash. Do like or subscribe on whichever channel you have seen this or heard this. Namaste. Jai Hind. Click here to watch the previous episodes.